Chapter 5:29. Gold, Resonant Radiance, Sword Art. Before, Yi Qin did not have the time to leave his soul mark on the longsword, so he was not able to maximize its power. But now, once the mark was formed, the longsword seemed to have become his arm. The Zhenyuan and the sword's power complemented each other, exploding with a golden blue sword light that could make the sun lose its color. The golden blue sword light flashed once before disappearing, slashing onto the dark blue longsword in the air. Ting! The sword sound was heard as the semi-extreme rank sword, which was obviously thunder element, shook its body. A layer of sword chi appeared around the sword body, which was indestructible, blocking out the golden blue sword light. It is just a sword. Do you really think that I cannot do anything to you? Yi Qin held the long sword in his right hand, while his left hand kept shooting out void-shattering finger power, or a sword chi tornado formed by lotus heart sword chi. All of a sudden, a clanging sound could be heard, along with thousands of sparks. Soon, that thick sword chi tornado was shattered, and the dark blue long sword backed out continuously. The lady's pupils shrank slightly. She had always been proud of her hidden weapon skills, thinking that even warriors at the same level as her would have to back out when facing her hidden weapons. However, compared to Yi Qin's sword chi tornado, it was nothing, even though it was not a hidden weapon. Dang! 2 rows of sparks spread out as Yi Qin threw out a sword attack at the dark blue longsword from a close distance. There was no way that the long sword could handle a solid sword attack from Yi Qin. The light on its surface exploded, and it was blown back a couple of times. Following closely behind, Yi Qin held the hilt of the long sword. TSS! TSS! Electricity surged out from the sword hilt, burning the Zhenyuan on Yi Qin's palm. The two clashed intensely, canceling each other out. Eventually, Yi Qin, who had endless Zhenyuan to support him, had the last laugh. He had completely controlled the long sword and poured his Zhenyuan into it, working with the power inside. Congratulations! The lady held her fists towards Yi Qin. You won't tell anyone, right? Yi Qin had the thought of killing him. The semi-extreme rank sword was not something to be underestimated. Perhaps life and death realm warriors would not make a move, but those Sea of Soul realm master level warriors would not care about it. If they knew about it, they would most likely come after him. But, thinking about it from another perspective, killing him for this reason would not go well with his sword Dao. The lady in red was shocked. She was afraid that Yi Qin would kill her to silence her. She quickly said, I know you must be worried, but please believe me. I will not say anything. In fact, if I can get out of here safely, I will find a place to live in seclusion and concentrate on my cultivation. I will not care about the affairs of the world. Why should I do something that harms others without benefiting myself? Of course, if you don't believe me, I can't do anything about it. Don't worry. I only swing my sword at my enemies. The thought of silencing the witness only flashed through Yi Qin's mind. He was the one who made the decision. Hearing him, the lady in red let out a breath and replied to Yi Qin with a smile before walking to the corner to continue her healing. Without paying attention to the lady in red, Yi Qin studied the gold long sword in his hand and thought to himself, the whole body is gold. It looks like it is made from gold. I will call it the gold sword then. The gold sword was 4 feet and 2 inches long, its body wider than normal swords. It was closer to a broadsword, but it was also a bit lighter. The back of the sword was very flat, with an ancient pattern carved on it. It extended all the way to the handle, and the handle, which was perfect for one's palm to hold. The gold sword had a scabbard which was inside the stove. Taking out the scabbard, Yi Qin put the gold sword back in and wore it on his waist. Putting away the gold sword, Yi Qin's eyes landed on the dark blue longsword. The dark blue longsword was 3 feet and 9 inches long, with a slim but powerful handle. The body of the sword was a bit thin, and the back of the sword was very thick. This kind of sword would not break easily during a battle, since its back was twice as thick as normal swords. On the body of the sword, there was a scattered thunder pattern extending from the handle all the way to the tip of the sword. As Zhan Yuan poured in, thunder and lightning surged on the sword body, eventually combining into one. It looked like a beam of lightning, but also like a slightly vibrating thunder. It was sharp and aggressive at the same time. It was not hard to imagine how powerful this kind of sword would be once it was stabbed out. Even a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior would not dare to ignore its attack. Near the sword's handle, there were 2 ancient characters carved on it. Thunder Disaster. Thunder Disaster Sword. Good name. I wonder if it has anything to do with the Thunder Punishment Sword. Semi-extreme rank weapons were replicas of extreme rank weapons. Therefore, most of the time the names of the weapons were very similar to the actual extreme rank weapons. The Thunder Punishment Sword was a famous extreme rank sword in history, and there were many replicas of it. Some were called Thunder Roar, some were called 10,000 Thunder, and some are called Light Thunder. If the Thunder Disaster Sword was a replica of the Thunder Punishment Sword, it would not be surprising at all. Thunder Disaster. Thunder Disaster. So aggressive. Yi Qin liked the Thunder Disaster Sword a lot. He could feel a kind of spirit from it. A spirit that could cut through everything. A sword with spirit would not be bad at all. Leaving a soul mark on a semi-extreme rank sword was a very tiring task. Fortunately, Yi Chen's soul power was 5 times that of normal Sea of Souls realm warriors. After spending 2 hours, Yi Chen managed to leave his own soul mark on the sword. With the soul mark, an unshakable connection had been formed between the sword and him, allowing it to explode with even more power. Ting! When the Thunder Disaster Sword was put back into its scabbard, it let out a clear and melodious sound, which was different from normal swords. Without the Thunder Disaster Sword on his waist, he would not be able to use it for a very long time in the future. The so-called treasure belonged to the fated, but it was not applicable in this world. This world was all about the strong, and treasures should belong to the strong. Although I have the Thunder Disaster Sword, it is still impossible to fight against the Iron Palm Master. I have to use this opportunity to train the Dragon Blood Plant. With a bit of dragon power, I might be able to escape from the Iron Palm Master. Yi Chen was very afraid of the Iron Palm Master's fire cage. If he could not cut through it, he would not be able to escape. Therefore, training the Dragon Blood Plant was a must. Sitting down with his legs crossed, Yi Chen took out the Dragon Blood Plant. On the surface, the Dragon Blood Plant did not look that special. It only had 1 long leaf, which was blood red in color. There was no bright spirit light coming from it, but if one looked deeper, they would realize that the spirit chi of the plant was all concentrated inside, not leaking out at all. One could even see a tiny dragon-shaped energy on the veins of the leaf, which was twisting and turning, giving people a deep sense of fear. Dragon Blood Plant. It is a top-rank spirit plant that contains dragon blood. I wonder how powerful it will be. Taking a deep breath, Yi Chen swallowed the Dragon Blood Plant and tried his best to circulate his Zhan Yuan, training the medicinal power and spirit chi of the plant. Awoo! A vague dragon roar was heard in Yi Chen's head. Yi Chen seemed to see a majestic dragon flying in the sky, its eyes like lightning as it looked down on everything. The slaughter sword intent exploded, cutting away the influence brought by the dragon roar. Yi Chen recovered his calm state of mind and focused on training the Dragon Blood Plant. Chapter 530. Soon, 3 days had passed. The lady had already woken up from her healing state. She looked very energetic, not looking like she did a couple of days ago. Seeing that Yi Chen was still training the Dragon Blood Plant, she did not disturb him. Instead, she stayed far away from him and took out her short blade to play with it, trying to familiarize herself with it. Just like that, another day had passed. Pap! On this day, Yi Chen's body had changed. A circle of invisible qi spread out from his body, clashing with the air. At the same time, his body shone with a red crystal light. His hair, facial features, and even his clothes were dyed red, as if they were made from red crystals. Rank 2 spirit body. A surprised expression flashed past the lady's face. The spirit bodies were divided into different ranks. Warriors who had just reached the Sea of Souls realm would usually have rank 1 spirit bodies. After decades of training or some special encounters, they would be able to reach rank 2. Master level Sea of Souls realm warriors would usually have rank 3 spirit bodies, and rank 3 would be the limit of Sea of Souls realm warriors. Only a small number of Master level Sea of Souls realm warriors would be able to reach rank 3 peak level. As for rank 4, it would be very rare. The reason that Yi Chun was able to reach rank 2 spirit body this fast was partly because of the dragon blood plant, but more importantly, it should be because of his own body. People with a strong foundation would be able to reach rank 2 spirit body faster. I am still only at rank 2 spirit body. He is so young, and his spirit body has reached rank 2 as well. It is really annoying to compare with others. The lady shook her head and forced a smile. She could tell that not only was Yi Chen's spirit body at rank 2, but his sword spirit was also at rank 4. Otherwise, it would be hard to explain how he could beat her old friend at peak level early Sea of Souls realm. The red crystal light disappeared as soon as it was released, merging into Yi Chen's body. Faintly, Yi Chen, who had his eyes closed, let out a breath of impure qi. After his spiritual physique grew to the second order, Yi Chen felt that his physique had risen by a whole new level. Regardless of whether it was his ability to endure damage or his defensive capabilities, they were all stronger than a first-order spiritual physique. If one were to compare the body to a vessel, before cultivating the spiritual physique, the body would be like a wooden barrel. After cultivating the first-order spiritual physique, the body would be like an iron barrel. And after cultivating the second-order spiritual physique, the body would be like a barrel made of steel. Thinking about it, the strength of Chu Zhongtian's physique was at least at the second-order spiritual physique, or even at the pinnacle of the second order. My spirit body has advanced from Tier 1 to Tier 2, but the increase in strength is not much. It's just that it's stronger. Next, it's time to refine the dragon power. After expelling the turbid air, Yi Chen took a deep breath and circulated the Jinyuan in his body, washing away the residual medicinal energy of the dragon blood grass. The remaining medicinal energy was very tenacious. Like a small dragon, it swam through Yi Chen's blood and flesh, desperately avoiding the pursuit of true essence. Yi Chen set up layers of seals all over his body and gradually narrowed the battle circle. Only then was he able to control the remaining medicinal power of the dragon blood grass within a narrow area and nibbled at it bit by bit. Awoo! When half of the medicinal energy had been digested, a light dragon roar was heard from inside Yi Chen's body. Right then, the lady in red sensed the dragon power from Yi Chen's body. It was a light dragon power that she had sensed from a rank 10 flood dragon before, so it was very familiar. Dragon power! An envious look flashed through the lady's face. The spirit body was still a spirit body, but it did not mean that the body was powerful. It only meant that the body would be more powerful. Some of the body training warriors would still be more powerful than the Seas of Souls realm warriors who had trained their spirit bodies, even if they had not trained their spirit bodies yet. Moreover, with a bit of dragon power, it would be enough to increase their power drastically, and their close combat power would be as powerful as body training warriors. Pap! Pap! After the dragon roar, a popping sound was heard from inside Yi Chen's body. It was Yi Chen's own qi power being assimilated by the dragon power. The dragon power was a higher level qi power, and the normal qi power, trained by the pure jade body boosting spell, would not be able to compete with the dragon power at all. So powerful! Yi Chen could feel that every inch of his body was filled with explosive power. It was hard to describe, as if he could shatter a mountain. Once all of the dragon power is extracted, my power should be more than 200,000 pounds. The thought flashed through his mind as Yi Qin continued to train the medicinal power. The process continued until the night of the same day. Boom! The air in the crafting room exploded violently as a shapeless, dragon-shaped qi power rushed out of Yi Qin's body, waving its claws and teeth. Success! The lady looked at Yi Qin. Right then, although Yi Qin did not look any different, his aura was extremely refined. One look from him was enough to make people feel pressured. Standing up slowly, Yi Qin threw out a punch. Boom! 10 meters away, the crafting furnace left the ground and landed on the wall, making a loud noise. On the surface of the furnace, there was a light fist mark. Before, my power was only around 150,000 pounds. But with the addition of one strand of dragon power, my power has reached more than 200,000 pounds. The dragon power is indeed the top qi power. Every strand of it is pure, without any impurities. On this true spirit continent, most of the warriors train Jin Yuan, and very few of them train qi power. But it did not mean that qi power had nothing to do with them. When the Zhen Yuan circulated, the warrior's body would change as well. Normally, warriors who had just reached the Sea of Souls realm would have more than 100,000 pounds of power. Therefore, the stronger the power, the more powerful the close combat power would be. If two Sea of Souls realm warriors were to fight at a close distance, and one had more than 100,000 pounds of power while the other had more than 200,000 pounds of power, what would the result be? With my power right now, I only have 40% chance of escaping from the palace. Of course, if I leave you behind, then I will have 50% chance. Yi Qin said without beating around the bush. The lady had obviously thought about it before, so she said, I have a Heaven Fire Thunder Pearl which can increase the chance to 80 to 90%. Heaven Fire Thunder Pearl. Yi Qin looked surprised. Just like the Silver Light Thunder Bomb, the Heaven Fire Thunder Pearl was also a powerful hidden weapon. But, of course, the two were not at the same level. The former could only threaten normal clasping Yuan realm warriors, while the latter could threaten spirit realm warriors. It would not be impossible to use it to stop the Iron Palm Master for a while. All right, let's take a rest first. After a week, we will try our best to break out. With the Heaven Fire Thunder Pearl, the chance would indeed be 80 to 90%. But they still could not let their guard down. There were too many accidents in this world, and they could happen at any time. They had to adjust their condition to the peak before coming up with a detailed plan to break out. It has been 2 months since the Treasure River Island appeared. Do we really have to waste time on these two? Inside the palace, the man in red had an impatient look on his face. The Treasure River Island appeared once in 100 years. If they tried their best to search for the treasures, it would be more than what they had gained in the past 10 years. If they waited here, they would not be able to get anything. If it were not for the fact that people came here all the time to give him treasures, he might not be so patient. No, I have already waited for so many days. If I give up now, it would be a waste of time. I have to wait for them to come out. The man in red's face was full of anger and hostility. 1 week later, inside the metal door, are you ready? Yi Qin asked. The lady in red took a deep breath and said a bit nervously, ready. Let's go. His palm pressed hard on the switch. Yi Qin's body tightened as he was ready to go. Boom! The metal door rose up at a fast speed. Ha, they are out. The red-robed man's eyes lit up. After waiting for half a month, the two of them had finally appeared. The red-robed man stood up and stared at the metal door. As long as the two of them appeared, he would use his lightning-fast methods to kill them. When the metal door was about 1 meter high, a blue shadow shot out. Gold resonant radiance attack. The gold and blue sword light attacked toward the man in red. It was indeed Yi Qin. The man in red did not expect Yi Qin to attack him first, so his reaction was a bit slow. But no matter how slow he was still able to handle Yi Qin's full power sword attack and fight back. Boom! The gold long sword and the palm clashed together, causing a shockwave to spread out. Go! Right then, Yi Chen's body turned into a shadow as he avoided the man's attack and rushed out while staying close to the ground. As for the lady in red, she had already jumped out when Yi Chen and the man in red were fighting. Walking in front of Yi Chen, she was less than 30 meters away from the door. Do you think you can leave? The man in red sneered as he quickly formed a spell with both of his hands. Endless fire yuan qi gathered at a shocking speed, forming into a huge fire cage that trapped the two. If I were you, I would not come out. Once I do, I will definitely die. Seeing the two trapped in his fire cage, the man in red seemed to be a lot more relaxed. He did not think that the two would be able to get out. If they could, then there would be no point for him to exist as a master level C of Soul's Realm Warrior. But then, something unexpected happened. Yi Chen took out a dark blue longsword from his storage ring. The sword body was like lightning and thunder as he threw out a sword attack at one of the pillars of the fire cage. Break! The dragon power and Zhen Yuan exploded at full power, and Yi Chen's spirit, qi, and mentality were extremely concentrated. Kacha! The fire pillar was broken open, and Yi Chen and the lady in red got out of the fire cage. They flashed once and appeared outside of the palace. Impossible! How could he break open my fire cage with one sword attack? Yi Chen did not completely break open the fire cage, but only 2 pillars. But for the man in red, it was the same as breaking his own fire cage. How could he not be shocked and angry? Get back here! The aggressive fire element Zhen Yuan exploded as the man in red tried to chase after them. With his speed, it would be easy for him to catch up with one of the two. Something unexpected happened again. The lady in red turned around, holding a red ball in her right hand. She threw it toward the man in red, which contained a horrifying qi. Boom! The flames spread out, and a burning ball of fire appeared. It expanded rapidly, blocking the way of the man in red and bouncing him back. Seeing this, Yi Chen did not relax at all. His Zhen Yuan formed waves of sword light outside of his body as he reached out to grab the lady and flew out at a shocking speed. Within a blink of an eye, they had traveled dozens of miles. After 2 to 3 blinks of an eye, they had already reached the edge of the sky. Waving his palm to put out the fireball, the man in red shot out of the palace. He looked around, but could not find Yi Chen and the lady. He was not willing to give up, so he pushed his soul power with all of his power. As long as they were within 100 miles, they would not be able to escape from his senses. What? You are already 100 miles away? The man in red could not sense anything, so he was so mad. Chapter 531. Oh, right. He had changed to a dark blue longsword in the fire prison. Cutting open the fire prison must have something to do with that longsword. Could it be a semi-extreme rank great sword? Yes, it must be a semi-extreme rank great sword. Otherwise, he would not be able to cut open the fire prison. The speed at which Yi Chen had changed his sword was very fast. Before, the man in red did not think much of it, but now that he thought about it, he found something suspicious. After all, if the long sword was not that strange, then why would he change it? It must be to cut open the fire prison. Semi-extreme rank great sword. A sharp light shone in the man's eyes. Although he had been focusing on palm arts, with a semi-extreme rank great sword and some profound sword attacks, his power would definitely increase to the next level. In this world, only the powerful ones would be respected. No one would care about what kind of methods you used to increase your power. After flying for 800 miles without stopping, Yi Chen finally stopped at the edge of the island. It seems like we have gotten rid of him. It was because he was afraid that the Iron Palm Master would lock onto them with his soul power that Yi Chen performed his sword light flying art and escaped at his fastest speed. Before he reached the Sea of Soul's realm, his sword light flying art could reach 15 times the speed of sound. But now it had reached an even more unbelievable level, reaching 20 times the speed of sound. With that, he would be able to travel 13 miles within a second, which was almost the same as Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors. The lady let out a breath and smiled at Yi Qin. "Thank you." "You are welcome. Without your heaven, fire, blasting pearl, I might not have been able to escape successfully." After that, Yi Qin looked around and said, "I am going out now. This island is not that big, only 1,000 miles in radius. If I continue to stay here, I might run into the Iron Palm Master again." "Yeah, you are right." The lady nodded. "Shoo! Shoo!" The two went through the colorful light that was covered by clouds and mist, arriving outside of the island. "Someone's coming out. Kill!" Around the island, a huge amount of Sea of Souls realm warriors had gathered. There were groups in the east and the west, and even the smallest group had dozens of people. Because they were not powerful enough, they could not enter the island. Therefore, they decided to join up with other warriors who were not allowed to enter and form a group to kill and steal the treasures. But of course, since the island had a radius of 1,000 miles, it would be impossible to lock it all down. So they could only try their luck. They formed groups of dozens of people, guarding different spots around the island. Once someone came out, they would attack together. Yi Qin and the lady in red were not that lucky. Once they got out, they were attacked by 20 Sea of Souls realm warriors, some of which were even spirit-level warriors. Courting death. Having lost 2 of her companions, the lady in red was in a terrible mood. She had nowhere to vent her anger, and the attack of these people had undoubtedly given her the opportunity to vent her anger. Hidden weapons that looked like petals shot out like a goddess scattering flowers, or 100 flowers blooming in full bloom. Pu-pu, 3 or 4 of them had been hit by the hidden weapons, their bodies turning into sieves. On the side, Yi Qin shook his head. These people were really unlucky. Of all people, they had to ambush the 2 of them. Fortunately, he did not plan to kill them all. He held his gold long sword and waved it casually. With one sword attack, 5 or 6 people had been cut into pieces. The rest of them were scared out of their wits, trying to escape. "All right, let's split up here." After blowing away all the Sea of Souls realm warriors who had been hiding in ambush, Yi Qin said goodbye and flew toward the South Rudra region. Looking at Yi Qin's back as he left, the lady in red had a heavy heart. There were 3 of them when they came, but now she was the only one left. It was kind of sad. "I will take care of your family for you," she muttered to herself. Then she flew back the way she had come. She disappeared into the horizon after a short while. 200 miles east of the South Rudra Martial School, a massive manor had already been built. It was right next to the mountains and rivers. Birds were singing and flowers were fragrant. There were a lot of warriors walking around, most of them wearing the Yi family's long robes. Inside a yard near the mountain, a waterfall was pouring down. A couple of osmanthus trees were growing vigorously, and 2 kids were playing under them. Next to them, Yi Tianhao and Xin Yuqing were sitting on stone chairs, chatting while drinking tea. A beam of light approached at an extreme speed. When it arrived above the Yi family, the light disappeared, and a young man in blue landed down. It was indeed Yi Qin. "Qinair." Yi Tianhao and Xin Yuqing stood up, a smile appearing on their faces. Yi Qin patted on Yi Xian and Yi Xiaoxiao's heads, looked around, and said with a smile, "Father, mother, how is the environment of the new manor?" "Hee, we have money and people. How could the manor be bad?" It was not hard to tell that Yi Tianhao and Xin Yuqing were in a good mood. Xin Yuqing said, "Qinair, what did you experience this time? Tell me." As parents, they always wanted to know more about their children, and Xin Yuqing was no exception. Yi Qin told them about his experience. Of course, he purposely left out the Iron Palm Martial School incident, as he did not want his parents to worry. He then said, "This time I got 5-star spirit fruits and 6 meridian cutting plants on the Treasure River Island. The meridian cutting plant can increase one's potential and speed up a warrior's training. The star spirit fruit can help a peak-level late clasping yuan realm warrior reach the astral reaching realm smoothly. What? Meridian cutting plant and star spirit fruit. Yi Tianhao and Shen Yuqing were not ignorant people. They had heard about the famous meridian cutting plant and star spirit fruit before. These two spirit plants were definitely priceless treasures for warriors. It was said that 50 years ago there was a bloody battle in the Windy Nation's martial world, and the reason was because a star spirit fruit had appeared in a valley. They did not expect that Yi Chen would be able to bring back 5 star spirit fruits and 6 meridian cutting plants, although they were now peak-level late clasping yuan realm warriors. Without any accidents, they might not even be able to reach the astral reaching realm within 3 to 5 years. It might also take 7 to 8 years, or even 10 years. After 10 years, they would be in their 60s and they would look a bit older. But now, with the star spirit fruit, they would be able to reach the astral reaching realm in a short period of time. They would have a lifespan of 200 years, and their appearance would stay the same, neither too young nor too old. These are the star spirit fruits and the meridian cutting plants. Under his parents' curious gaze, Yi Qin took out 5 sparkling fruits and 6 curled-up yellow plants. Taking over the fruit, Shen Yuqing smiled from ear to ear. In a woman's mind, besides family, age, and appearance were the most important things. 1 star spirit fruit would allow her to become an astral-reaching realm warrior earlier, giving her a lifespan of 200 years. What did 200 years of lifespan mean? Everyone knew about it. It meant that the speed of aging would be slowed down by 2 times. Plus, since they were already in their 40s, after entering the astral reaching realm, they would be able to maintain their current appearance for a long time. Haha, Yuqing, it is so nice to have a good son. Yi Tianhao had a happy expression on his face. Seeing that both their parents and brother were so happy, Yi Xian and Yi Xiaoxiao also laughed like idiots. Chapter 532. The newly built manor was very large, several times larger than the Yi family's manor in Luo City. The continuous stretch of buildings stretched from the top of the mountain all the way to the foot of the mountain. It looked prosperous and extraordinary. The manor was located on a famous mountain near the Rudra Martial School, the Misty Mountain. Therefore, from now on, the manor was called the Misty Mountain Yi family, the main family of the Yi family. At the peak of Mount Yunwu, the wind was fierce and the fog was thick. Although my comprehension ability has increased by several times and I can easily comprehend profoundness, it won't be easy for me to delve deeper. Yi Qin stood quietly on a rock at the top of a mountain, his clothes fluttering in the wind. Compared to 2 months ago, Yi Chen had made some progress. His wood element, profound sword art, amarantha nature, had increased from 60% to 70%, and his profound movement art, separating shadows, had also increased from 60% to 70%. As for his sky thunder cut and gold resonant radiant sword art, they were still at 70% and 80% respectively. The sky thunder cut was a sword movement created by Yi Chen, and it was not easy for it to reach its current level. After all, Yi Chen had just reached the Sea of Souls realm not long ago. Ordinary Sea of Souls realm experts might not be able to create their own profound sense martial skills even after 10 or 20 years. They would usually learn from others. No matter what, my current comprehension is indeed incomparable to before. If I spend some time, I'll definitely be able to comprehend a few of the major sword techniques to the level of mastery. A couple of years ago, Yi Chen thought that the comprehensive ability was just like this, and that it would be hard to improve it. But now he knew that he was wrong. Soul power was actually the root of the comprehensive ability. Once the soul power was strong, the comprehensive ability would be strong as well. Of course, once one reached the Sea of Souls realm, they would be able to understand the essence of some things, which would increase their learning speed. Buzz! A strong fluctuation of primordial qi came from the mountainside of Mount Yunwu. He broke through. I wonder if it's my father? or mother. 3 days ago, Yi Tianhao and Shen Yuqing had begun closed-door training, attempting to break through to the astral reaching realm. Huh, both father and mother have broken through? A look of surprise flashed in Yi Chen's eyes. Less than 10 minutes after the first wave of Yuan Qi fluctuation, another wave of Yuan Qi fluctuation spread out. They are really a married couple. Yi Chen chuckled, then flashed his body and shot towards the mountainside. Congratulations, father and mother! In the courtyard, Yi Tianhao and Shen Yuqing were both there. Yi Chen bowed with a smile on his face. Yi Tianhao said with a grin, I had always hoped that our Yi family would have an astral reaching realm warrior and bring glory to our family. Then, Chenair, you reached the astral reaching realm, so this wish was fulfilled. But I had never thought that I would be able to break through to the astral reaching realm. This feeling, I really don't know how to describe it. Actually, you don't need the star spirit fruit. In a couple of years, you will also be able to reach the astral reaching realm. Yi Chen only wanted his parents to reach the astral reaching realm as soon as possible. This way, they would be able to maintain their current appearance and not continue to age. At this moment, Shen Yuqing said, Your father and I know ourselves. Without your unconditional support, Chenair, we would not be able to reach the peak level late, clasping Yuan realm in a couple of years, not to mention the astral reaching realm we are now. Yuqing is right. Yi Tianhao nodded. Yi Chen forced a smile. What are you talking about? You are my parents. It is natural for a son to help his parents. In his previous life, he was an orphan and had never felt the warmth of a family. After coming to this world, he had merged with the feelings of this world's Yi Chen. In his eyes, Yi Tianhao and Shen Yuqing were his parents. It was natural, and there was no barrier between them. In the end, the Yi Chen of this world was not him, but he was the Yi Chen of this world. It meant that he had two identities. Therefore, he had accepted that he had parents from the very beginning. Yi Tianhao and Shen Yuqing also felt that it was a bit strange. A son helping his parents was a son's way of showing his filial piety. There was no need for him to worry about anything else. Zhenyuan is indeed not something Jinqi can compete with. The explosive power is more than 5 times stronger than before. The two had just made a breakthrough, so they were still not familiar with Zhenyuan. They could not help but exclaim from time to time. Yi Chen said, Wait until you have stabilized your current cultivation. Then you can take the earth astral pellet and increase your cultivation to the peak level early astral reaching realm. As for the future, you will have to rely on yourselves. The spirit plant pellets for increasing your cultivation level are hard to come by. This time it was all luck. Right now I feel like I am dreaming. Once I reach the astral reaching realm, I will have a lifespan of 200 years, which is twice as long as before. Yeah. Shen Yuqing had the same feeling. She cared about her lifespan the most. According to the calculation of 200 years, 90 years would only be equivalent to 40 years for clasping Yuan realm warriors. And she was in her 40s right now, which meant that she would not age for the next 40 years. She would still look like Yi Chen's mother, since Yi Chen had stopped changing his appearance a long time ago. He was supposed to be 24 or 25 years old, but he looked like he was in his early 20s. Seeing his parents so happy, Yi Chen was just as happy. Actually, he had been troubled by a problem for a long time, which was that, as time went on, his parents would eventually grow old. In 10 years, they would look a bit older, and in 20 or 30 years, they would be old people. Fortunately, the problem had been solved, so he let out a sigh of relief. Shoo! In the sky, a beam of light sliced through the sky at an extreme speed, reaching 20 times the speed of sound. When it was close to the Rudra Martial School, it stopped abruptly. It was a middle-aged man in black robes. He was huge, with wide shoulders and long legs, looking very mysterious. He suddenly stopped because 2 people had appeared in front of him. One was the leader of the Rudra Martial School, Long Bai, and the other was a handsome young man with silver hair. He looked to be 1 or 2 years younger than Long Bai, around 30 years old. "Who are you?" The man in black robes had a very powerful aura, and Long Bai could not see through it. Only master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors would be able to do that to her. But she was not worried at all. The man in black revealed a smile. "Leader Long, nice to meet you. I am Morong Jishui. You are the leader of the Morong family." Hearing him, Long Bai immediately knew who Morong Jishui was. He was the leader of the Morong family, a demi-demon family in the South Rudra region, which was also Morong Qingqing's father. She just did not know why he was here. "Indeed, and this is—" Morong Jishui looked at the silver-haired young man. He said lightly, "Mo Fong." Mo Fong, the leader of the White Dragon Palace, Missouri Fong. A shocked expression flashed past Morong Jishui's face, but he soon realized something. No wonder the old Dragon King did not worry about Long Bai coming to the Windy Nation alone to build the South Rudra Martial School. It turned out that it was not only Long Bai who had come, but also the leader of the White Dragon Palace, Missouri Fong. "What is your purpose for coming here?" Long Bai asked. "Yi Qin is living around here, right?" Morong Jishui did not answer her question. "Looking for Yi Qin? You are not here for your daughter, Morong Qingqing, are you?" Long Bai seemed to know something, so she said with a faint smile. Morong Jishui forced himself to say, "Indeed. Yi Qin, is in the Misty Mountain, 200 miles east of the South Rudra Martial School." Long Bai pointed in the direction of the mountain. "Thank you. I will go first then." After saying that, Morong Jishui turned into a beam of light and disappeared. He is indeed the leader of the demi-demon family in the South Rudra region. Although he is not that famous, he is still not something that normal master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors can compete with. "Mo Fong, what do you think?" The silver-haired young man said, "Very powerful." Hearing Mo Feng's words, Long Bai had a rough idea of Morong Jishui's power. In front, Morong Jishui, who was flying at a high speed, turned around to look. The leader of the White Dragon Palace, Missouri Fong, is here. Plus the great-granddaughter of the Dragon King. It is quite important. It seems like the old Dragon King really cares about Yi Qin. A smile appeared on his face as Morong Jishui became more confident. "Young master, someone named Morong Jishui is here to see you. He is in the lobby." Outside the yard, a servant from the Yi family came to report. "Morong Jishui." Yi Qin frowned. "Tell him that I will be right there." Yes, the footsteps disappeared into the distance. Stopping his training, Yi Chan mumbled to himself, "There are not many people with the surname Morong in the South Rudra region. It seems like there is only the Morong family. Perhaps it is her family? But why would her family come to see me? Perhaps something happened to her? I should go check it out first." Putting the long sword back into the scabbard, Yi Qin walked out of the yard. In the huge lobby, a man in black was drinking tea, looking very patient. Footsteps were heard, and Yi Qin walked in. "You are Yi Qin." It was the first time that Morong Jishui had met Yi Qin, so he could not help but be shocked by his age and chi. Although he had seen his picture before, it was not even 1/10 of the real person. "I am indeed Yi Qin. May I ask who you are?" "I am Qingqing's father, the current leader of the Morong family, Morong Jishui." "Ah, it is Uncle Morong." Yi Chen held his fists together and said, "I wonder how Morong is doing." Good and not good at the same time. Sitting in front of Morong Jishui, Yi Chen asked, "What do you mean?" "Do you know what kind of bloodline our Morong family has?" "The demi-demon bloodline." "She even told you about this. It seems like I did not come here for nothing." Morong Jishui was not surprised at all that Yi Chen knew about this. Yi Chen's expression did not change as he waited for him to continue. "Since you know that our Morong family is a branch of the demi-demon family, then you should also know that in order to ensure the purity of the bloodline, the demi-demon family forbids marriage with outsiders. They can only marry within the family. Yichen nodded. I know. Morong told me about it. When Qingqing came back last time, she really surprised me. Not only did her bloodline grow to the perfect demi-bloodline, but she also had a trace of demon power essence in her body. But because of that, some things have been pushed forward. As her father, I have to come and find you. Uncle, if you have anything to say, just say it. Morong Jishui smiled and said, My Morong family is a demi-demon family, but it is only a branch of the demi-demon family. Therefore, the marriage within the family does not refer to the marriage within the Morong family, but the marriage within the entire demi-demon family. Let me ask you, are you interested in my daughter? If not, then I will not say more about what will happen next, because it is meaningless. If you are, then there will be a meaning in saying it. Yi Chen had thought about this question a long time ago. In his previous life, he had been in a relationship once, but it had ended in failure. Now that he was in this world, he did not want to get involved in a relationship so early, but he could not stop his feelings. No matter if it was Su Jing or Morong Qingchen, he cared a bit about them both. At the same time, he was a bit troubled. Sometimes, he would think about which one he cared about more. But there was no conclusion. The two gave him different feelings, so he could not compare them. Chapter 5:33. With that thought in mind, Yi Chen nodded without hesitation. For warriors, they would train their mind at the same time as they trained. Only by focusing on their own mind would they be able to reach a higher realm. If they kept lying to themselves, they would eventually fall into the heart demon and never be able to get out of it. Seeing Yi Chen nod, Morong Jishui chuckled. It would be great if there was one. If there was none, then he would have come here for nothing. He would feel bad for his daughter as well, since he could tell that his daughter actually cared about Yi Chen a lot. It was just that her personality was not good at expressing it. I have been paying attention to you for a long time. There are spies from my family in the Windy Nation as well. Pausing for a second, Morong Jishui continued to say, although Qingqing looks so calm, she is actually not good at expressing her feelings. It is the same at home and with me. Only when she is with her mother would she show the emotions of a little girl. Therefore, she is different from you. Although this is the first time we have met, I can tell that everything you say and do comes from your heart. Even answering this kind of question is very calm. Morong Jishui liked Yi Chen a lot. His mentality was not only admirable, but also frightening. What kind of environment could create such a mentality? This kind of mentality was something that even life and death realm warriors might not have. He was neither humble nor arrogant, and was always honest to himself. It turned out that Morong Jishui still had this side to him. Hearing Morong Jishui's words, Yi Chen chuckled to himself. Uncle, what happened? Yi Chen asked. Morong Jishui said, Qingqing is not that young anymore. Originally, she was supposed to marry Yuan Yi from the Yuan family in half a year. But what we did not expect was that after Qingqing came back from the outside world, her bloodline had already grown to the perfect demon bloodline. Because some of the masters in the family were very supportive of the marriage, the news had already reached the Yuan family. They were afraid that something bad might happen if they waited too long, so they pushed the wedding forward by 3 months. In other words, in 3 months, it would be the wedding day of Qingqing and Yuan Yi. Yuan family is a demi-demon family? Indeed, there are more than 20 different families in the demi-demon family. Among them, the Yuan family is the most powerful one, which is the main family of our demi-demon family. As for Yuan Yi, he is one of the top warriors among the young generation of the Yuan family. Plus, he is just like Qingqing, with the perfect demi-demon bloodline. He has already awakened his special power. Once Qingqing and Yuan Yi get married, their children will definitely have the perfect demi-demon bloodline as well. That is the meaning of this marriage. Yi Chen frowned. What do you need me to do? Morong Jishui smiled. Very simple. Snatch Qingqing back. Yi Chen was a bit surprised. Although I also do not want Qingqing to marry you and Yi. But I do not understand why you, as a member of the demi-demon family, would not want Qingqing to marry you and Yi. Normally, demi-demons can only marry demi-demons, which is the rule of your demi-demon family. Plus, I am a human, not a demi-demon. Being with Qingqing would be breaking the rule of the demi-demon family. Of course, I know that. I just do not want to see Qingqing marry someone she does not like, especially when he is a member of the Yuan family. I am not afraid of you laughing at me, but back in the day I had a lover, and we loved each other very much. We could have been husband and wife, because she was also a demi-demon. But in the end, we did not get together because of the bloodline. Her demi-demon bloodline was very high, almost reaching the perfect demi-demon bloodline. Therefore, she was forced to marry into the Yuan family. As he spoke up to hear, Morong Jishui's voice turned cold. Why can the Yuan family do whatever they want to our branch family? The ones with the higher bloodline have to marry into the Yuan family, and the pretty ones have to marry into the Yuan family as well. What kind of rule is this? The worst part is that there are a lot of branches of the Yuan family, and the women with the higher bloodline will not marry into the branch family. Instead, the branches of the Yuan family will marry into each other as long as they are 3 generations away. They do not care about our branch family at all. This is indeed very selfish. In Yi Chen's opinion, the Yuan family was like a blood-sucking bug. The essence of the branch family kept flowing into the Yuan family, which made the Yuan family prosperous. On the other hand, the branch family would never be able to surpass the Yuan family, and might even start to weaken. Now, you understand why I am doing this, right? Morong Jishui looked at Yi Chen. Yi Chen looked back at him and said, "You said it yourself. The Yuan family is the main family of the demi-demon family. So, there would definitely be life and death realm warriors in the main family. Are you sure that I alone can fight against the Yuan family, and even challenge the whole rule of the demi-demon family? If it were someone else, I would not be able to, but you can. Why? Because you have the leader of the Dragon God Heaven Palace, the Dragon King, behind you. With him as your support, who in the demi-demon family would dare to oppress you? Even the demi-demon king would not dare to do so. Without the support of the Dragon King and Xianhou, the situation of the demi-demon family might not be as good as it is now. You also know that we demi-demons have the bloodline of the demons inside us after all. So, a lot of life and death realm warriors are hostile to us. Is it the Dragon King?" Yi Chen nodded. Indeed, with the Dragon King as his support, the demi-demon family would not do anything to kill him, because it would be the same as turning against the Dragon King. It was not because he was arrogant, but because he had reached the Sea of Souls realm before the age of 25, and had the power of a top spirit warrior. It would be impossible for the Dragon King to not value him. Although he really wanted to rely on himself, in this world, which martial genius did not have a powerful background. Without a powerful background, people would kill you without waiting for you to grow up. Having a powerful background was also a part of one's power, and it was an unchanging truth. With that thought in mind, Yi Chen had already made up his mind. In fact, even if the Dragon King did not come, he would not just watch Morong Jishui get married. If she got married, he would have regrets and flaws in his heart. If he had the power to stop it, why not? Everything had to be fought for by himself, regardless of the result. "What is your choice?" Morong Jishui asked. Yi Chen said, "Since you do not care about the rules of the demi-demons, then why should I? Oh, right, does Morong know that you are here?" I did not tell her why I am here. I think she would have guessed it for sure. Besides, it is not that I do not care about the rules, but your value is way beyond the rules. With your current achievement, I am afraid that you will become a life and death realm warrior in a couple of years. By then, who would dare to talk behind your back? It was true that Morong Jishui valued Yi Chen's background. But if Yi Chen was not that powerful himself and did not have enough potential, he would not have come. Breaking the rules of the demi-demons was not a joke, and there would be consequences. Right now, he could only place his hope on Yi Chen. But he believed that if it were anyone else, they would also bet on Yi Chen's potential, since he was so young. Yi Chen naturally knew that Morong Jishui was not only looking for Morong Jishui's happiness, but there must be something else that he did not know about. But he did not care, since he knew that Morong Jishui had his own purpose. Anyway, he could not let Morong Jishui marry Yuan Yi. "Chinair, who is this?" Yi Tianhao and Xin Yuqing walked into the living room. Yi Chen introduced, "Father, mother, this is the leader of the Morong family, Morong Jishui. Uncle, these are my parents." "Haha, brother Yi, sister Xin, is it too rude for me to call you guys like this?" Morong Jishui was a bit older than Yi Tianhao and Xin Yuqing. It was only because of his higher cultivation that he looked younger. He did not look down on the two who were only at early astral reaching realm, since they were Yi Chen's parents, and they might become in-laws in the future. So, no matter what, he had to build a good relationship with them. Soon, the three got familiar with each other. Yi Tianhao and Shen Yuqing also vaguely knew what they were here for, so they had a smile on their faces. "Brother Yi, sister Shen, I would like to borrow Yi Chen for a while. You won't object, right?" He did not go straight to the point. Instead, he revealed a bit about Yi Chen and his daughter before saying that he wanted to borrow Yi Chen. Indeed, Yi Tianhao hurried to nod and said, not just for a while, even 3 to 5 years would be fine. This was related to his son's lifelong happiness. If he really could not see his son for 3 to 5 years, he would have to hold back his longing. "All right, brother Yi is indeed reasonable. Let's not waste any more time. Yi Chen, come back to the Morong family with me. 3 months is not that long, but it is not that short either. Even going to the Yuan family would take a long time." Morong Jishui stood up and said. Yi Chen looked at his parents. Then, "Chinair will leave with Uncle Morong first." "Yeah." Shan Yuqing nodded and reminded, "Be careful out there." Chinair knows. After that, Yi Chen and Morong Jishui walked out of the living room. Their bodies flashed, flying into the sky. Shoo! Shoo! The two turned into 2 beams of light and disappeared. Outside the living room, Yi Tianhao and Shen Yuqing looked at the direction where the 2 disappeared and let out a breath. Shen Yuqing laughed. "Chinair is too mature. I thought he was not interested in girls. Hee hee. The younger generation will have their own happiness. What is the rush? I heard that he was quite close with a girl called Su Jing when he was in the Sky Cloud Martial School." The Morong family was located in a huge mountain range in the west of the South Rudra region, which was 2 million miles away from the Windy Nation. In the afternoon of the 3rd day, Yi Chen and Morong Jishui arrived at the mountain range. Our Morong family is not that famous, but the only thing in the South Rudra region that we do not dare to mess with is the South Rudra Martial School. The other rank 6 martial institutions are not as powerful as our Morong family. Even the royal families of the 4 empires are slightly weaker than us. Looking at the center of the mountain range, Morong Jishui kept flying at a high speed as he introduced the Morong family to Yi Chen. Yi Chen nodded. It seemed like Morong Jishui letting Morong enter the sky-flying demon martial school was just a cover, so that people would not know that she was a member of the demi-demon family. "Uncle, why do so many people on the continent want to target the demi-demon family? Demi-demons look no different from humans, and they do not seem to cause any harm." Yi Chen did not understand. He did not think that the reason why people would target the demi-demon family was because they hated the demons. Morong Jishui sighed. "Actually, there is a reason. Our demi-demon family is indeed a big threat. The bloodline of the demons is not that easy to get. But what can we do? Just because we are demi-demons, we have to take away our right to live." Morong Jishui still wanted to say something, but they had arrived at the Morong family. From a distance, the entire Morong clan appeared to be very mysterious and vast. The buildings were all very ancient, and there were also countless towers. The sky above the Morong clan was different from the outside world. The color was darker and gloomier, and dark clouds covered the sky. Chapter 534. What a powerful demon qi! Yi Qin could not help but be shocked. Demon qi was also a kind of yuan qi. Normally, the yuan qi in the world would be distributed in a balanced manner. Every kind of yuan qi would be present, and the natural element yuan qi would be the largest. The other yuan qi would be reduced according to their rarity, and the demon qi would be one of the rarest yuan qi. Right now, the demon qi in the sky above the Morong family was not weaker than the natural element yuan qi, which had darkened the sky. Morong Jishui explained, in the demi-demon race other than the perfect demi-demon bloodline, although the others could only train Jin Yuan, they would be tainted by the demon qi when training. The higher the bloodline, the more demon qi would be tainted. Our Morong family has more than 10,000 people, so the demon qi that we have gathered together has affected the yuan qi distribution in the sky. It is also one of the reasons why our family is so low-key. Leader, a group of guards flew into the sky, holding their fists together to greet Morong Jishui. Morong Jishui nodded slightly and said, "This is Yi Qin, Mr. Yi." "Greetings, Mr. Yi." Shock flashed through the guards' eyes. Obviously, they had all heard of Yi Qin's name. After all, there was no power in the whole southern sector that did not know about Yi Qin. If they did not know, then they would not be far from being annihilated. If they were not well informed, what would they do if they were attacked? While I was away, nothing happened in the family, right? Morong Jishui asked casually. The leader of the guards hesitated a bit before saying, "Leader, 3 days ago, people from the Yuan family came and took away the young miss and the leader's mother." What? Morong Jishui's expression turned cold. How dare they? What right do they have to take away my daughter? The leader of the guards replied, the head master had agreed to it. The leader's mother was afraid that the young miss would be taken advantage of, so she followed them as well. This bastard, mentioning the headmaster, Morong Jishui's face turned green. Who came from the Yuan family? Suppressing his anger, Morong Jishui said with a low voice, "It is the third master and the fifth master of the Yuan family." Humph, the ones who came are actually elders. It seems like they're not only here to bring people over, but also to intimidate. Morong Jishui was very clear about the power of the Yuan family. As the main family of the demi-demon family, the elders of the Yuan family were either master level C of Soul's Realm warriors or top spirit level warriors. And the top 10 elders would all be master level C of Soul's Realm warriors. Let's go back first. Morong Jishui's good mood had been ruined, and he was very frustrated. But he also knew that he had already been taken away for 3 days, and he would not be able to catch up. Plus, even if he did, there were 2 master level C of Soul's Realm warriors. Yi Qin, in a couple of days, we will go to the Yuan family together. Just bear with it for now. Meanwhile, Morong Jishui passed on a message to Yi Qin. Yi Qin nodded. "I know, uncle." There were many people from the Morong family who came to greet him, but Morong Jishui ignored them and walked towards the hall. When he reached the hall, he ordered someone to invite the great elder over. Inside the hall, all of the Morong family's elders were gathered together, and Yi Qin sat on the first seat on the right. Soon, a middle-aged man with a bulky body and sharp eyes walked over. He looked to be 7 or 8 years older than Morong Jishui, and was about 50 years old. He was tall and muscular, and as he walked, he gave off a powerful aura. "Third brother." The middle-aged man did not call him leader, but called him third brother. Morong Jishui's eyebrows flicked as he said coldly, "Morong Wang, were you the one who agreed to let my daughter go to the Yuan family? I remember that I am the leader of the Morong family, right? What right do you have to make such a decision?" The Morong Wang he was talking about was indeed the great elder, who was also his big brother. Morong Wang sat on the first seat on the left. After glancing at Yi Qin, he said slowly, "Sooner or later, she will still have to go. This is the truth. Plus, there is nothing wrong with Qing Cheng marrying into the Yuan family." Only there would she be able to bring out her full potential. If you really want what's best for Qingqing, then I have nothing to say. But according to what I know, your son wants to marry the third daughter of the Yuan family's branch. Is that true? What does my son marrying have to do with this? That would depend on who your son marries. Marrying a girl with a rather good bloodline from the Yuan family. Do you think they would agree? I think you are trying your best to make my daughter marry Yuanyi so that you can negotiate with them. Am I right? Murong Jishui was very angry. Third brother, this is already done. No matter what I do, it will not change anything. So, whether I do it or not, there is no conflict. You are the leader of the Murong family. Do not be reckless and drag your wife and daughter into this. Murong Wang was not happy, so he changed the way he addressed him. Qingqing is my daughter. I do not need you to lecture me. As for your son, I can guarantee that the Yuan family would not agree. Do you really think that you can negotiate with them? They are the Yuan family after all. Murong Jishui calmed down. Murong Wang sneered. You do not need to worry about that. If there is nothing else, I will excuse myself for now. Standing up, Murong Wang walked out. When he was about to step out of the lobby, he turned around and looked at Yi Qin. I forgot to mention this. It would be best if you do not provoke the Yuan family. The rule of the demi-demon family is not something that you can change. Bringing him here would only humiliate him. Yi Chen, right? If I were you, I would leave immediately. The Yuan family is way more powerful than you can imagine. Any young warrior from there would be able to beat the whole southern region's young generation. Plus, you have to know that after reaching the Sea of Soul's realm, anyone below the age of 40 would be considered a young warrior. I am afraid you are still limited to those below the age of 30, right? Yi Qin took a deep breath. Of course, Yi Qin knows about this. How could he not know about the definition of the young generation in the Sea of Soul's realm? At the astral reaching realm, people below the age of 30 would be considered as the young generation, and those in their 20s would be considered as the young generation. At the Sea of Soul's realm, people below the age of 40 would be considered as the young generation, and those below the age of 30 would be considered as the young generation. The reason why it was so close was mainly because of potential. At the astral reaching realm, warriors below the age of 30 would have the most potential, so they would be considered as the young generation. As for those in their 30s, although they would still be considered young, their potential would be almost used up. Once they reached the Sea of Soul's realm, their potential would increase a bit, but it would still be limited. After reaching the age of 40, they would not have much potential anymore and would not be considered as the young generation anymore. All in all, the young generation in this world was not measured by age, but by potential. Otherwise, Sea of Soul's realm warriors could live up to 300 years, and 60 years old would only be equivalent to 20 years old for clasping Yuan realm warriors. Murong Wang said that any random young warrior from the Yuan family would be able to beat all of the young warriors in the southern region was indeed a bit exaggerated. But it would not be too exaggerated because people in Yi Chen's generation were all below the age of 30, and the young warriors of the Yuan family were not limited to below the age of 30. They were all below the age of 40, and Yi Chen and the rest had lived 10 years less than them, so it would be normal for them to be weaker than them. If they were at the same age, saying that the young warriors of the Yuan family could beat all of the young warriors in the South Ruder region would be an exaggeration. Seeing that Yi Chen was not scared at all, Murong Wang sneered. In his opinion, Yi Chen was still basking in his identity as the king warrior of the southern region. But that was only for warriors below the age of 30. If he were above the age of 30, he would only be humiliated, and no one would give him any face. As for the Dragon King, he would not come out to stop him just because he was humiliated, since the Yuan family would not really kill Yi Chen for real. Pausing for a second, Murong Wang waved his sleeves and left. This must be Yi Chen. Among the elders of the Murong family, a square-faced elder looked at Yi Chen without any expression. Murong Jishui introduced. Everyone, he is Yi Chen, the martial genius that the Dragon King thinks highly of. There are a lot of martial geniuses out there. I wonder what kind of power he has to stop this marriage. Third brother, you should know how many powerful warriors there are in the young generation of the Yuan family, right? The square-faced elder was Morong Jishue's brother, who was ranked fifth. Hearing him, Morong Jishue chuckled and did not answer. Instead, he passed on his genuan to Yi Qin. Yi Qin, it seems like the elders do not really believe in you. They think that you will only be humiliated if you go and lose the face of the Morong family. Later, if they want to challenge you, you can show your power. Actually, Morong Jishue did not think that Yi Chan would be able to beat the elders of the Morong family. He hoped that Yi Chan would be able to exchange dozens of attacks with them, and that would be enough. No matter how powerful the young warriors of the Yuan family were, there would still be a limit. The so-called humiliation would only happen when there was a huge gap between them. Don't worry, uncle. Yi Qin nodded his head. Yi Qin, although I do not agree with Qing Cheng marrying into the Yuan family either, not just anyone can get our support. If you want to get our support, you have to show us your power first. How about this? If you can take 50 attacks from me without losing, then I, Morong Wu, will stand on your side. Otherwise, you will have to go back to where you came from. The Morong family cannot afford to lose its face. As you wish. Yi Qin sighed, his eyes turning sharp. This is not a good place to battle. Let's go to the battling field. Morong Wu was the first to fly out of the hall. Let's go and have a look as well. A lot of the elders were still hesitating. They wanted to resist the Yuan family, but they also wanted to feel that it was worth it. If it was not worth it, then why would they break the rule of the demi-demon family, even if it was a martial genius that the Dragon King thought highly of? Yi Qin, let's go. Morong Jishue and Yi Qin followed behind. The battling field of the Morong family was very vast. It was surrounded by mountains, and there were some tall buildings built on top of them. Shoo! Shoo! All of the elders of the Morong family landed on top of the mountains, while Morong Wu and Yi Qin landed in the middle of the battling field that was surrounded by mountains. Looking at the two figures on the battling field, a lot of the elders started to discuss. Morong Wu is one of the top warriors of the Morong family. Taking 50 attacks without losing is a bit harsh. How can it not be harsh? Being humiliated here is still better than being humiliated in the Yuan family. Yeah, I wonder how much of his power he will bring out. Chapter 535. Hearing everyone's discussion, Morong Jishue could not help but think to himself, Yi Qin, don't disappoint me. You and I have the same goal. If you want to stand out, then my Morong family will do the same as well. Right now, we are all in the same boat. We will share the same fate, and we will share the same fate. Morong Jishue knew that Yi Qin had a lot of potential, but he still did not know how powerful Yi Qin was. Demi-demons were different from humans, and their basic advantages were very obvious. After reaching the Sea of Souls realm, this advantage would be even bigger. For example, in terms of spirit bodies, the demi-demons' spirit bodies would be even more powerful than humans. Moreover, once the genuine was mixed with demonic qi, it would have some of the characteristics of demonic power, which would make it even more powerful than humans. If Yi Qin could not even handle 50 attacks from Morong Wu, then this plan would not work anymore. Boom! Qi waves clashed on the battling field. It was Morong Wu and Yi Qin attacking at each other. The Zhenyuan qi that was leaking out of their bodies pressed against each other, forming two hemispherical membranes, each taking up half of the sky. All of a sudden, a bright blue light and a bright blue light exploded out, looking extremely eye-piercing. Take my wave fist attack first. Morong Wu stomped on the ground and jumped up into the air. The dark blue light accumulated on his fist, and when it had condensed into a single point, he threw out a punch at Yi Qin. What? Using his water profound fist, art right from the start? Is Morong Wu planning to finish this battle quickly? Seeing Morong Wu attacking so aggressively, some of the masters were shocked. Facing this unknown fist attack, Yi Qin did not panic at all. His body stopped halfway as he reached down with his right hand, grabbing onto his gold sword and pulling it out. The second the gold sword was pulled out of its scabbard, a bright gold light shot out from the left side of Yi Chen's waist, shooting out toward Morong Wu, who was in midair. Inside the gold light were countless blurry sword shadows. Because of their extreme speed, they could not be seen with naked eyes at all. Only soul power could simulate them. Boom, 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 boom. The dark green light and the golden light clashed together, bringing up hundreds of explosive sounds within a second. This kind of endless chi explosion sound could easily make a clasping Yuan realm warrior's heart beat faster and get severely wounded. Even if a normal person was far away from it, their heart would still explode and die. What a fast sword speed! Morong Wu's fist attack was supposed to explode when it reached in front of Yi Chen. However, Yi Chen's sword attack speed was way too fast, and his sword was even faster. Once his fist was thrown out, the dark green light that had been accumulated on the tip of his fist exploded. That not-so-big fist seemed to contain the power of a river. The fist power was thick like water, surging and surging. Each wave was higher than the last, faster than the last, compressing the fist force into a single point and exploding it in an instant. Amazing! In the first exchange, Yi Chen immediately sensed the profoundness of the raging wave's fist. To face this fist technique, he had to be faster than it. If he was hit, the consequences would be unimaginable. The surging fist energy and the countless sword shadows were like light and darkness, contending against each other, canceling each other out, and finally annihilating each other. Neither of them could do anything to the other. Not bad. Take another one of my raging waves kick. Morong Wu's body slanted as his right leg flew into the air like a shooting star, kicking at Yi Chen's head. This kick was extremely similar to the raging wave's fist, as it was also condensing the leg power into a single point before exploding. Yi Chen did not back out at all. His left hand, which was hanging by his waist, held the emerald longsword in a reverse grip and waved it up, drawing out a bright thunder arc boom. This exchange was different from the last time. Morong Wu's leg power had been split in half directly, and the rest of it was pushed back towards Morong Wu by the curved sword light. Even though he moved last, he got here first. Morong Wu was so shocked that cold sweat appeared on his forehead. It was him who threw out the raging wave's kick first, but his opponent's reaction was way too fast. It seemed like he had already prepared for it. Plus, that backhand sword attack had made him extremely uncomfortable. Just when his leg power had been condensed, it had been shattered, sliced apart, and even rolled back towards him. This Yi Chen does not seem to be simple. Both of Morong Wu's attacks had been cancelled out by him. His battling experience is very impressive. He is no weaker than Morong Wu, and his intelligence is even more powerful. He is indeed the martial genius that the Dragon King has chosen. Martial geniuses usually had very powerful intelligence. Even the older generation would not be able to compete with them, which was something that everyone had to admit. Of course, the masters who were watching the battle did not think that Morong Wu would not be able to do anything to Yi Chen, since the battle had just begun. Being blown back by his own leg power, Morong Wu looked at Yi Chen with surprise. "All right, I thought you would not be able to handle even 80% of my power, but now it seems like I have underestimated you. But the battle has just begun. Next, you will be facing the most embarrassing situation. You better be mentally prepared. It would be better to be embarrassed here than in the Yuan family." Morong Wu's battling intent had been ignited. He planned to attack with all of his power to see what kind of level Yi Chen had reached. Without enough power, he would not be able to go to the Yuan family. Bring it on. I will make sure that you will be satisfied. Yi Chen's long hair danced in the wind. His whole body was like a sword that had just been taken out of its scabbard, ready to fly out at any second to kill the enemy. It was indeed this sword intent that had made Morong Wu develop this intense battling intent, making him consider Yi Qin as his opponent. Boom! Murong Wu exploded. A lot of dark blue Jin, yuan water flow extended out of his body. It was like a living thing floating up and down. It was 100 meters long, turning the area within 100 meters into his territory. Once one entered that area, they would be restricted by the Zhan yuan water flow. Shoo! Murong Wu shot out toward Yi Qin. With the help of that Zhan yuan water flow, he looked like a massive human-shaped octopus, twisting the surreal space. Take this! It was the same wave fist art, but this time Murong Wu's fist aura was even faster and more aggressive. As he attacked, dozens of Zhen yuan water flows tried to wrap around Yi Qin. Yi Qin threw out a sword attack at an extremely fast speed to cut down the incoming Zhan yuan water flow. However, he realized that after the Zhan yuan water flow had been cut down, it would still be able to reconnect. Moreover, after cutting down one, more Zhan yuan water flow would follow up. Under the interference of the Zhan yuan water flow, Yi Qin and Murong Wu exchanged an attack head-on and backed out dozens of steps. Shoo! 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 The Zhan yuan water flow followed right behind Yi Qin. If it were not for Yi Qin's sword speed and technique, as well as his super reflexes, he might have been trapped by the Zhan yuan water flow. Once he was trapped, the situation would be very bad for him. This water sealing spell of mine is a combination of restriction, attack, and defense. It will limit your power and make you unable to focus on battling. Murong Wu secretly accumulated his power, preparing his ace attack. Senior, why don't you try my Zhen yuan silk as well? Yi Qin's body shook once, and countless blue silk threads spread out. They interweaved and formed into a couple of meters wide ball, covering Yi Qin within. Once those Zhan yuan water flows touched it, they would be sliced into pieces, unable to move an inch further. What? Zhen yuan silk? Not only Murong Wu's expression changed, even Murong Jishui and all the other masters of the Murong family were shocked. It was not that they had never seen Zhen yuan silk before, but they had never seen anyone use it to such an extent as Yi Qin did. He was able to use his body as the center and spread out the Zhan yuan silk threads, forming into a ball to protect himself. What kind of controlling power was required to do that? So troublesome. Murong Wu was starting to have a headache. Yi Qin's power had already exceeded his expectation, since he was able to use Zhan yuan silk to this level. Seeing that his Zhan yuan silk threads had broken his opponent's water-sealing spell, even Yi Qin himself was a bit surprised. He had learned this Zhan yuan silk from Chu Zhongtian's evil yuan silk. When he was at the astral reaching realm, he was already able to turn part of his Zhan yuan into silk and increase his attacking power. Once he reached the Sea of Soul's realm, his soul power would increase by 5 times, and his controlling power would naturally increase as well. His achievement in Zhan yuan silk had already reached beyond Chu Zhongtian, leaving him far behind. With the protection of the Zhan yuan silk, Yi Qin was not afraid of the Zhan yuan water flow at all. He flew towards Murong Wu at an extreme speed, throwing out a sword attack. Swoosh! A crescent-shaped sword chi shot out. Seal! Murong Wu quickly pulled back the Zhan yuan water flow, gathering it in front of him. Boom! In the next second, that rich Zhan yuan water splashed out, and Murong Wu was blown backward. Gold resonant radiance sword attack. The Zhan yuan water flow disappeared as Yi Qin waited for the moment when Murong Wu's defense was at its weakest and threw out his most powerful sword attack. Gold and blue sword light spread out everywhere. Good brat! Murong Wu's pupils shrank. That sword attack had brought him a lot of danger. Wherever that sword attack went through, the space started to vibrate and dense space folds started to spread out. Arm demonization. Break. At that critical moment, Murong Wu's right arm burst out with a strong black chi, which was very agile. It traveled inside his arm. Creak. Creak! The sound of muscles tightening was heard as Morongwu's arm expanded within a second. Even the sleeves of his shirt had been torn apart, exposing the skin of his arm. No, it should not be called skin anymore. It was an arm that was covered in dense scales. Demon chi was rolling in the air, and the claws were huge. The streamlined muscles had a black luster to them. Tightening his fist, Morongwu threw out a punch onto that gold and blue sword light. Shoo! Shoo! Burning sparks spilled everywhere. Morongwu's feet rubbed against the ground as he slid dozens of meters away. Besides that 1 second of looking pale, he did not puke out any blood. HM? This arm is just like a demon's arm. It blocked out my sword light with only 1 punch. Yi Qin stared at Morongwu's right arm. If it were not for this sudden transformation, he would have been wounded for sure. Of course, as the 5th master of the Morong family, he might have a top-rank shield, but he had to rely on it to block out his own attack, which meant that he had lost the battle. He had forced the 5th to demonize his own arm. Morong Jishue gasped as he looked at Yi Chan in shock. All the other masters were shocked as well. Demonization was a taboo in the demi-demon family. Unless it was a critical moment, they would rarely use it to increase their power. Morongwu could only demonize his right arm, but after that his right arm would no longer be a normal arm. It would become a demon's arm, and its power would increase exponentially. What shocked them the most was that although that sword attack of Yi Qin had been shattered by Morongwu, Morongwu himself had slid dozens of meters away as well. It was obvious that he could not suppress Yi Qin's attack at all. Did you guys feel it? The power of this sword attack had increased a little bit. Yeah, I had the same feeling as well. Some of the masters had noticed it. Chapter 536. His right arm felt like it had just been electrocuted, numb and numb. Morongwu's eyebrows flicked as he recalled what had just happened. When his fist landed on the sword light, it felt like he had clashed with a mountain of gold. That intense, vibrating power had layered on top of each other, acting on his right arm. This sword attack had vibrated more than 2,000 times within a second, which made it hard for me to concentrate my power. Plus, the sword intent of this attack was even more powerful, making the sword light even more condensed, like the toughest steel board. Rank 4 peak level sword spirit. Thinking about that sword intent carefully, Morongwu came to a shocking conclusion. Yi Chen's sword intent was actually at the peak level master level, which meant that his sword spirit had already reached rank 4 peak level. But it made sense since he was only at peak level early C of Soul's realm, and he had not mastered all of his profound sword movements yet. Only through his sword intent would he be able to make up for this disadvantage. All right, the battle is over. Now, is there anyone who still doubts Yi Chen's power? Morong Jishue took a deep breath as he looked around. All of the masters shook their heads. After Morongwu's right arm demonized, although he could perform some hidden ace attacks, this Yi Chen might still have some ace attacks. All in all, Morongwu was indeed at a disadvantage. Indeed, with this kind of power, it would be more than enough for him to go to the Yuan family. As for the risk, there must be. It would be weird if there was no risk at all. Hearing the master's discussion, a smile appeared on Morong Jishue's face. Morongwu was a top spirit warrior, and after demonizing his right arm, his overall power had increased by 20 to 30%. He was not that far away from the master level, so the fact that Yi Chen could get the upper hand was already way beyond his expectation. Yi Chen, I admit that I have underestimated you. On the battling platform, Morongwu's right arm had not changed back yet. Once a demi-demon demonized, it would take a while for it to return to normal. Putting the gold sword back into its scabbard, Yi Chen said, "This is not important." Yeah, it is indeed not important. Whether I underestimate you or not, the result will be the same. Letting out a breath, Morongwu continued, "My niece, Qingqing, will depend on you to bring her back. Do not disappoint me. I believe that you will definitely succeed. Murong Wu was the same as Murong Jishui. He did not want Murong Qingqing to marry into the Yuan family. But of course, his purpose was even purer than Murong Jishui's. Yi Chen nodded. I will. Among the young generation of the Yuan family, you have to be careful of 3 people. One is Yuan Hao, who is the brother of Yuan Yi. The other is Yuan Jia, who is the youngest uncle of Yuan Yi, who is below 40 years old. And the last one would be Yuan Yi. These 3 are very powerful. As for exactly how powerful they are, the spies of our Murong family are not very clear about it. As for the other young warriors, they should not get involved. The Yuan family is not that harmonious internally, and there are a lot of different factions. Murong Wu reminded Yi Chen. Yi Chen nodded again. Actually, he did not have much confidence either. Below 30 years old, he thought he had 90% confidence. But below 40 years old, there would be too many uncertainties. Training 10 years more or less would sometimes make a huge difference. The only thing he could do now was to try his best. Yi Chen, follow me. The rest of you can go now. Murong Jishui left behind a sentence before flying toward the inside of the Murong family. Yi Chen followed right behind him. Inside a huge tower, Yi Chen and Murong Jishui arrived at the highest floor, the 21st floor. Each floor of the tower was very tall, 7 to 8 meters tall. The 21st floor would be 150 to 60 meters. Standing on the 7th floor, one could see most of the buildings inside the Murong family. Murong Wu's power. What do you think? Murong Jishui asked. Yi Chen said, not too bad. If I use all of my power, I can beat him within 10 attacks. It was not an exaggeration. After battling with Murong Wu for a while, he had already calculated his overall power, including the increase of his right arm after demonization. Oh! Murong Jishui turned his head and looked at Yi Chen with surprise. Yi Chen, can you tell me what rank your sword soul is? Is it peak level rank 4 or rank 5? Peak level rank 4. Yi Chen was telling the truth. Although his sword intent seemed to have surpassed the master level sword intent, the rank of his sword soul was still at peak level rank 4. As for the reason, it was very simple. It was because his sword soul was the slaughter sword soul, which was at peak level rank 4. It was more powerful than a normal peak level rank 5 sword soul. Of course, he did not use the slaughter sword soul during the battle with Murong Wu. Instead, he used the normal sword soul embryo with the destruction element. His normal sword soul embryo was actually not normal at all. Just like the slaughter sword soul, it had already developed a willpower, which was equivalent to a normal peak level rank 2 sword soul. Combined with the destruction element, it would be equivalent to a normal rank 4 sword soul, which was a master level sword soul. He knew it very well that although the peak level rank 4 slaughter sword soul was only equivalent to a normal peak level rank 5 sword soul, and it would not be as powerful as the ones in front of it, but with the increase of the rank, the difference would be even bigger. Going from rank 3 to rank 4 and from rank 4 to rank 5 would have a totally different meaning, because a rank 5 sword soul would be a king level sword soul, just like how a rank 4 sword soul would be a master level sword soul. Peak level rank 4. No wonder. I did not expect you to be this powerful in the sword art. I am just like the others. I have underestimated you. After the surprise, Murong Jishui laughed, feeling very good. This time, no matter if he won or lost, he would not regret it at all. Yi Chen's potential was beyond his imagination. With enough time, he would definitely be able to create a miracle, since he had just reached the Sea of Souls realm not long ago. As long as he could increase his cultivation and profound sense martial arts, there would not be many people in the Sea of Souls realm who would be able to compete with him. This kind of person was born to be a king. What if he reaches the life and death realm? This thought suddenly flashed through Murong Jishui's mind, and he was shocked by himself. He finally understood why the Dragon King valued Yi Chen so much. He must have already seen how powerful Yi Chen was. This kind of horrifying martial genius was rarely seen in history. Once he became a life and death realm warrior, all of the powerful warriors in the whole continent would be shocked. With that thought in mind, he put himself in the Dragon King's shoes. From his perspective, no matter what, he would not give up on Yi Qin, this martial genius. For him, he would even fight against the king warriors. The bigger the investment, the bigger the profit. Anyone who dared to bully the weak would be going against the Dragon King. Once the Dragon King got angry, the consequences would be horrifying. I guess even Yi Qin himself did not know how important he was. For him, the Dragon King would do anything. Morong Jishui glanced at Yi Qin, feeling very excited. With the Dragon King protecting Yi Qin, breaking the rules of the demi-demon family that had been around for thousands of years would be nothing. Since the Dragon King had already bet on Yi Qin, why couldn't he? The Dragon King's vision was not something he could compete with. This brat will definitely turn the world upside down in the future. Following behind him and cheering for him would be the honor of our Morong family. With that thought in mind, the way Morong Jishui looked at Yi Qin had changed. Deep in his heart, he had already considered Yi Qin as a powerful warrior. In front of him, he seemed to be a little bit smaller. It was not shameful, not at all. Some people were destined to be the ones who could not see the truth clearly. About the demi-demons, I have not told you everything yet. So, it would be fine if I tell you now. Clearing his throat, Morong Jishui said, "Do you know what the demonization is?" Yi Qin guessed. Is it because of the demon's bloodline? Indeed, every member of our demi-demon race has half or less of the demon's bloodline. The demons are a race that is even more powerful than the human race. Having their bloodline is a good thing, but also a bad thing. It all depends on whether or not you can control the bloodline of the demons, such as the demonization ability. You have seen it yourself. Morong Wu could demonize his right arm, and after that his right arm would turn into a demon arm. I believe I do not need to say more about the power of the demons, right? Yi Qin nodded. Indeed, the demons were very powerful. Back in the parallel space battlefield, he had witnessed the battle between the Demon King and the 3 king warriors. That Demon King had been sealed for hundreds of thousands of years and was at its weakest state. But still, it was able to beat the 3 king warriors so badly. It was not hard to imagine how powerful the demons were, which was hard to describe with words. The demonization ability can only be mastered after reaching the Sea of Souls realm. If it happens before the Sea of Souls realm, it would most likely turn into a murderous demon that had lost its mind. That would be the sign of not being able to control it. But once you reach the Sea of Souls realm, you would usually be able to control the demonization a little bit, and it would not happen again. Look at me. My demonization ability is even more powerful than Morong Wu's. As he spoke, Morong Jishui's left and right arms both started to expand. Demon Qi rolled in the air, and the fingernail-sized black scales reached all the way to his shoulders. That streamlined muscle gave people a metallic shine, containing an extremely horrifying power and defense. The reason why my demonization ability is even more powerful than Morong Wu's is not only because I can demonize both of my arms, but also because I can get out of the demonization mode as I please. Crack, crack. The scales disappeared, and Morong Jishui's arms soon returned to normal. Get out of the demonization mode as you please? Yi Qin had seen Morong Wu's right arm being unable to return to normal even after a long time. This Morong Jishui was not just a little bit more powerful than Morong Wu. Smiling lightly, Morong Jishui asked, "How is it?" "Very powerful. Does the demonization have any side effects?" Yi Qin asked. Letting out a sigh, Morong Jishui said, "Yes. Demonization is a double-edged sword. The more you rely on it, the greater the consequences you will have to bear in the future. After all, we are human devils, not members of the demon race. Demonization is the same as developing into a demon race. Unfortunately, even if our whole body is demonized, we're not members of the demon race. There is an invisible abyss between one race and another race. Those who want to cross it will fall and break their bones. Therefore, unless it is a critical moment, we will not use demonization. This thing will erode our body. Once our body is completely eroded, it will erode our soul until we lose our reason. That's right. Demonization is a double-edged sword. The more you rely on it, the greater the consequences you will have to bear in the future. There are a lot of people who hate demi-demons on this continent because of this reason. They are afraid that there will be a demon king among us, or even a group of demon kings who have lost their minds. There must be some other reasons. Yi Qin did not think that the demi-demons would cause that much of a threat. First of all, the number of demi-demons would limit the influence of the demi-demons. There were 20 families, so how many demi-demons could there be? Adding all of them together, it would not be more than 1 million. How many of them would become demon kings or lose their minds would already be horrifying. The chance of them becoming life and death realm warriors would be 10,000 times higher than the chance of human warriors becoming life and death realm warriors. Of course, part of it was because of their higher foundation. With a smaller population, the chance of them becoming powerful warriors would be higher. Chapter 537. How about this demonization? Since he was going to fight against the demi-demons from the Yuan family, Yi Chen had to figure out how much the demonization would increase his power. Morong Jishui said, "Demonizing parts of the body will increase in 2 ways, and it is a bit complicated. For example, if my right arm is demonized, then my right arm would increase by at least 30%, and my whole body would increase by 10%. If I demonize both of my arms, then both of them would increase by 40%, and my whole body would increase by 20%. If I demonize both of my arms and one of my legs, then each of them would increase by 50%, and my whole body would increase by 30%. The more parts that are demonized, the bigger the increase would be." So that is how it is. Yi Qin understood it very easily. Just like what Morong Jishui had said, after demonization, the increase would be in 2 ways, part and whole. As the number of parts that were demonized increased, the power of part and whole would increase by 10%. If he demonized all of his limbs, then each of them would increase by 60%, and the whole body would increase by 40%. Yi Qin wondered how it would be after he demonized all of them. By then, it would be a huge increase, and it would not just be a 10% increase anymore. Yuan Hao and Yuan Jie's demi-demon bloodline is similar to mine, so they would be able to demonize at least one part and possibly both parts. But, of course, in terms of controlling ability, they would not be as powerful as me. As for Yuan Yi, you really have to be careful. He not only has the perfect demi-demon bloodline, but he is also at the mid-sea of Soul's realm. Once the demi-demons with the perfect demi-demon bloodline reach the sea of Soul's realm, they would be able to master a special power that is even more powerful than the demonization ability. This power is not fixed, but it would be related to the demon's power anyway. Murong Jishui reminded him. The power of the demons? Yi Chen had heard about it from Murong Qingqing before. Although he did not know exactly what the demon's power was, he knew that it would not be simple, since the demons were a race that was even more powerful than the human race. Their power would not be normal at all. After thinking about it, Yi Qin frowned and asked, "The perfect demi-demon bloodline can master the demonization ability and the special power at the same time?" "No." Murong Jishui shook his head. "The perfect demi-demons will lose their demonization ability. They are the most perfect demi-demons, so they don't have to worry about losing their minds. As for the reason, I don't know either. Logically speaking, the perfect demi-demons have much more demon blood than us, but they don't have the ability to demonize. Of course, with their talent, they don't need the demonization ability at all, because the demonization ability is a burden to them." Hearing this, Yi Chen let out a sigh of relief. He had never personally experienced the side effects of the demonization ability. He only knew that the demonization ability could increase one's strength, and there was no doubt about it. If the other party had both the demonization ability and the innate ability, then it would not be easy to deal with them. The Yuan family is in the Gulan region of the Eastern region, which is 18 million miles away from here. Even with the red-eye vicious bird that we raise, it would still take us more than a month to get there without any rest. Normally, it would take us 2.5 months. In 3 days, we will leave, Morong Jishui suggested. All right, we'll leave in 3 days. A sharp light flashed through Yi Chen's eyes. 800 miles to the north of the Morong family, there was a valley. It was not that big, only 4 to 5 miles long and hundreds of meters wide. There was a deep pond in the middle of the valley. There used to be a rank 7 weird fish, but it had been killed a couple of days ago, and its meat had been turned into soup. Right next to the deep pond, a couple of wooden houses had appeared out of nowhere. They were hidden between the rocks and the trees. Even if one walked into the valley, it would be hard to notice them. Shoo! A shadow shot into the valley through the entrance, arriving in front of the wooden house like it was very familiar with the place. It seemed like he had known about the existence of the house a long time ago. Who is it? A low yell came from inside the house. It was a middle-aged man in black robes. His face was white without any facial hair, and he had a healthy body. He laughed. Iron Dragon, it is me. Why are you so nervous? The door opened, and the bulky man in black robes, who was called Iron Dragon, said helplessly, "Come in. I thought we had been discovered." Crack! As the door closed, the two walked in. The inside of the house was a whole new world. There were a lot of shiny crystals embedded on the walls, and there were a couple of tubes on the east side of the wall. On the other side of the wall, there were a couple of bulky men in black robes who were grilling meat. The aroma filled the air. While grilling, Iron Dragon asked, "Grey Eagle, how is the Morong family doing?" "Morong Jishui is back, and he has brought a young man with him. Do you know who that young man is? He is the most powerful warrior among the young generation of the southern regions, Yi Chen. According to what I know, Morong Jishui does not seem to want his daughter to marry into our Yuan family. Inviting that brat here probably does not mean anything good. Huh, what a reckless aunt. His daughter being able to marry into our Yuan family is a blessing that he earned in his previous life. How could he not appreciate it? As for that Yi Chen, should we inform the family and have them send someone to kill him? That would be the end of it." Iron Dragon's face was full of killing intent. The middle-aged man shook his head. "This kind of thing is not something you and I can decide. He is a martial genius that the Dragon King has his eyes on. If we kill him, the consequences would be too severe. Who knows, it might even be traced back to our Yuan family." Iron Dragon said with disdain, "A dead martial genius is no longer a martial genius. I think the Dragon King would not turn against our demi-demon family for a dead man, right? Although our demi-demon family relies on him for a lot of things, he should not push it too far. Without him, we still have Xianhou behind us." Xianhou and the Dragon King were both top king warriors. The reason why the Dragon King helped the demi-demon family was because one of his disciples was a martial genius of the demi-demon family. Of course, there were other reasons as well. On the other hand, the reason why Xianhou helped the demi-demon family was because Xianhou had owed the demi-demon family back in the day. You cannot say it like that. The dignity of a king warrior should not be challenged. It would be hard to tell if the Dragon King would get angry or not. Once he gets angry, our demi-demon family would not be able to stop him. As for killing Yi Chen, it is not impossible, but we have to make sure that no one knows that it was done by us. Hearing Grey Eagle, Iron Dragon was a bit frustrated. He was right. The demi-demon family would not be able to stop the Dragon King, even if there were 2 demi-demon kings in his family. Thinking about that, a dark look flashed through his eyes as he thought to himself, "Most of these human warriors are hostile to our demi-demon family. If we have a top demi-demon king, or even a demi-demon emperor, then they would not dare to mess with us, and the Dragon King would not turn against us that easily. Let's send the news back. Let the family make the decision." Iron Dragon suggested. Grey Eagle nodded. "Indeed, we have to send the news back. This matter could be big or small. so we have to pay attention to it. Luckily, the family had sent us here to spy on the Morong family. I did not expect that we would actually find something like this. No wonder the leader of the family said that the Morong family is a disaster. As he spoke, Grey Eagle patted the beast tag on his waist, and a gray, weird-looking bird flashed out. It was only 1 foot long with a very thin neck. Its body was streamlined, and its feathers were very smooth, shining with a gray metallic luster. Putting the paper with the news into a small bamboo tube and tying it on the leg of the bird, Grey Eagle opened the door of the house and threw the bird out. Chee! The bird screeched once before disappearing without a trace. 3 days later, in the morning, a couple of red-eye birds flew out from the biggest building of the Morong family, carrying Yi Qin and the rest toward the northeast. This time it was not only Morong Jishui and Yi Qin who were going to the Yuan family, but also the head master Morong Wang, the 5th master Morong Wu, and 10 other powerful warriors of the Morong family. All of them were at early sea of Soul's realm, so it was not hard to tell how powerful the Morong family was. The red-eye birds are rank 8 beasts, and their highest speed can reach 7 times the speed of sound. If we include the rest, we should be able to reach the Gulan region in 2.5 months. Of course, we could also make it 10 days earlier. There were 4 red-eye birds in total. Morong Jishui, Yi Chen, and Morong Wu were riding on one, while Morong Wang and 2 other powerful warriors were riding on the other 2. On the wide back of the birds, Morong Jishui stood right next to Yi Chen as he said to Yi Chen. Yi Chen did not really care about it. The red-eye birds were rank 8 beasts, and their speed could reach 7 times the speed of sound was already very scary. But his flying puppet was even faster than them. Once it was loaded with top-rank spirit stones, its highest speed could reach 10 times the speed of sound, and it could fly without any rest. So, it would probably take them a month to reach the Gulan region. Of course, he would not take it out unless it was a critical moment. On the back of the red-eye bird on the left, Morong Wang sneered. In his opinion, Yi Chen would be looking for trouble by going to the Yuan family. So what if he managed to beat Morong Wu? Could there not be another young warrior who is more powerful than Morong Wu in the whole Yuan family? You do not know how high the sky is. Once you reach the Yuan family, perhaps you will be too scared to say anything. Morong Wang thought to himself. Morong Jishui glanced at Morong Wang. To be honest, he did not want Morong Wang to go with them, but the latter was the head master of the family. Although he was not as powerful as him, he was still a top spirit warrior. When he was in his demonized mode, he might be able to compete with normal master level C of Soul's realm warriors, even more powerful than Morong Wu. If he wanted to go, Morong Jishui would not be able to stop him, since the latter did not listen to him at all. I hope he will not cause trouble for me. Shoo! Shoo! The red-eye bird's speed was getting faster and faster, eventually maintaining at 7 times the speed of sound. In the east of the continent, inside the Gulan region was full of power, and the 2 most powerful ones were the Yuan family and the Gulan Martial School. The Yuan family was located near an abyss. There were so many tall buildings that one could not see the end of. Among the buildings, there were 2 towers that were very eye-catching. They were thousands of meters tall, looking like 2 huge swords that pierced through the clouds. And the ones who lived in the towers were the 2 demi-demon kings of the Yuan family. On the top floor of a similarly tall building, a middle-aged man in purple robe stood there with his hands behind his back, looking down at the buildings in front of him. The middle-aged man's eyes froze a bit as he noticed that there was a tiny dot in the sky. Soon, the dot enlarged and arrived in the sky above the Yuan family. It turned out to be a foot-long gray bird, which was traveling at an amazing speed. Shoo! The gray bird circled around for a couple of times before landing on the window in front of the middle-aged man. The man waved his hand, and the small bamboo tube on the bird's leg landed in his hand. He took out the paper inside and opened it. After a while, the middle-aged man sneered, "What a reckless brat! How dare you come to the Yuan family? I will not let you off easily. As for the Morong family, it is time to take care of them. That Morong Jishui does not have the right to be the leader of the Morong family. Chapter 538. Who? The space nearby vibrated a bit, and a gray shadow appeared there. Headmaster. The third and fifth master have brought them back. The leader of the Morong family has also come with them. The gray shadow's voice was very vague. If one did not know where he was, it would be hard to tell where the voice was coming from. The middle-aged man ordered, arrange a place for them to stay. Also, send someone to watch over them. Without my permission, do not let them step out of the Yuan family. Understood. Also, get ye back and let the two of them get to know each other better. Although there is no more suspense in this marriage, if they can develop feelings for each other, it would be even better. If they do, no one would be able to stop them. The middle-aged man was actually a little bit worried that something might happen. For him, this marriage would not allow any accidents to happen. Once it was done, no matter if it was the Yuan family or him, they would both benefit a lot. 2 perfect demi-demon bloodlines combined would also give birth to children with perfect demi-demon bloodlines. If there were 2 of them, then the Yuan family would have 4 perfect demi-demon bloodlines. Plus, all 4 of them would be on his side. So his great-grandfather and the headmaster would definitely side with him. Headmaster, should we use the shadowless poison on the leader of the Morong family? With it, the success rate would be even higher, and that little girl would be more obedient. The gray shadow suggested. The middle-aged man thought about it for a while, then nodded. You will do it. Remember, do it secretly. Yes. All right. You go do what you need to do first. Hearing him, the gray shadow left without a sound. Turning around, the middle-aged man looked up at the blood-colored crescent moon in the sky. I hope it does not come to that. But if it does, then it would not be my fault. This marriage can only succeed and no failure is allowed. Whoever dares to stop it would be going against me. As the main family of the demi-demon race, the Yuan family had the most population, reaching a shocking 400,000. With such a huge population, there were naturally a lot of buildings. In the hundreds of miles radius around the abyss, there were all kinds of buildings. In a luxurious courtyard at the edge of the core region, 2 beautiful women were sitting on stone chairs and chatting. She was about 38 or 39 years old. Between her eyebrows, there was a charm that only a mature woman could have. An emerald green jewel hung from her earlobes, and she was wearing a luxurious dark green dress. Opposite of the mature woman was a much younger woman in a purple dress. Her face was covered with a veil, and through the contours of her face, one could see that she was somewhat similar to the mature woman. However, in comparison, she was more stunning. She had a pair of slightly purple pupils that were like 2 light purple gems. Her eyelashes were slender and curved, and her hair was like a waterfall. The latter was Murong Qingqing. Qingqing, do you think that brat will really come? The mature woman did not hold any hope. Murong Qingqing was a little absent-minded. She took a sip of tea and said, Since father went to find him, he will definitely come. I know him. Oh, is it for you? The mature woman showed an ambiguous smile on her face. Murong Qingqing blushed, not necessarily. Anyway, he will come, but it might not be entirely for me. It would be great if he comes. Otherwise, you will really have to marry that Yuan. The mature woman did not look happy. The Yuan family is way too aggressive. They said that they invited you, but they were actually threatening you. Luckily, your father was not there that day. Otherwise, he would have to fight with the 3rd and 5th master of the Yuan family. With his power alone, I am afraid he would not be able to win against them. Murong Qingqing said with determination, whether he comes or not, I will not marry Yuan. Worst case scenario, I will just die. Pausing for a second, she said again, Mother, why did you come? If you come, I am afraid that they will use you to threaten me. The mature woman was indeed Murong Qingqing's mother, Morong Jishue's wife. Her name was Su Ruhue. She forced a smile and said, "Do you think that if I did not come they would let you go and threaten you? I am afraid that it would be even worse. Plus, I am the former third daughter of the Su family, so they would not be too reckless." There were more than 20 demi-demon families in total, and the Su family was one of them. Different from the Morong family, the Su family was way more powerful than the Morong family, at least in the top 5. No matter how aggressive the Yuan family was, they would have to show some respect to the Su family. Plus, I also want to meet your father's old lover. Su Ruhue loved Morong Jishue a lot. As the former third daughter of the Su family, when she chose to marry Morong Jishue, there were a lot of obstacles, but in the end she succeeded. However, there was still a knot in her heart. She knew that there was someone else in Morong Jishue's heart, and that person was his first lover. Morong Qingqing asked curiously, "What will you say when you see her?" "Nothing much. I just want to see what kind of person she is. My eyes are very accurate." Su Ruhue laughed. "Oh, right. I have not seen that brat yet. When he comes, I will take a good look at him for you as well." The wind was blowing, and it was sharp like blades. 4 7-meter-long red-eyed birds flew at an extreme speed, shuttling through the clouds. Because of the extreme speed, a layer of air appeared 2 meters in front of the birds. It was very thick and was formed by countless compressed air particles. It was a natural barrier. Inside the air layer, Yi Qin and the rest were all sitting on the back of the birds. The journey was too long, so they would occasionally wake up from their training mode and say a few words. But most of the time, they were training and adjusting their breathing. The back of the birds was very wide. Even with the 3 of them sitting on it, it still looked very spacious. If they squeezed a little, it could easily fit dozens of people. Yi Chen was sitting a bit to the right in front of him. When I first reached the Sea of Soul's realm, my slaughter sword spirit and that normal sword spirit had both been strengthened quite a bit. The slaughter sword spirit was only rank 4, which was comparable to normal rank 5 sword spirits. But because of the huge increase in soul power, it naturally reached the peak of rank 4. But the normal sword spirit had been nourished by a huge amount of soul power, so why did it not reach the sword spirit level? It was just a bit more powerful. Yi Qin could not quite understand it. Opening his eyes, Yi Qin let out a breath. His deep eyes went through the air layer and looked at the world outside, where the clouds were rolling and changing. Right then, Morong Jishue had also stopped training. Seeing Yi Chen's pondering expression, he chuckled, "You are so hard-working. I always see you thinking." Yi Chen shook his head and said, "There are too many things that I do not understand. It seems like the more powerful I am, the more things I do not understand. Even some of the simple things that I have experienced before, I do not understand much anymore." "Oh." Morong Jishue was a bit surprised. "You are right. The more powerful I am, the less I understand this world. Before, we could only see the surface and thought that it was everything. But now that we know the essence, we realize that the surface is just like a floating cloud." Essence? Floating cloud? A beam of light flashed through Yi Chen's mind, as if something had suddenly become clear. He was afraid that the inspiration would disappear soon, so he immediately closed his eyes and entered the training mode. Morong Jishue was shocked and then smiled bitterly. He shook his head and also started training. Essence, right? I have never paid attention to the essence of the sword spirit. The sword spirit is the condensed sword intent, which is the will, which is the external expression of the soul power, which is equivalent to the power of the soul. Since I want to condense the sword spirit, it must be related to the soul power. I have never thought about this before. The reason why I can condense the slaughter sword spirit is because it is natural, not intentional. Clang, 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 clang. In fact, this sound did not exist at all. It was simulated automatically in Yi Chen's mind, and only Yi Chen could hear it. Above his soul sea, next to the dark red slaughter sword spirit, there was a rather illusory ancient longsword. This ancient longsword was the sword spirit embryo. Next to the sword spirit embryo, a silver hammer was hitting the sword spirit embryo, bringing out illusory silver sparks. The silver hammer was created by the soul power. A smile appeared on Yi Chen's face, just as he had expected. The sword spirit embryo's density had increased. It seemed slow, but it was actually a couple of times faster than before. Murong Jishui's unintentional words had solved a problem for Yi Chen. Since the essence of the sword spirit was the external expression of the soul, then using the soul power to train it would be the perfect way to train the sword spirit, right? Oh, right. Since I could think of it, why didn't the Battle King think of it? Yi Chen suddenly thought of this question. According to the information that the Battle King had sent into his mind, training the sword spirit was all about learning and using more, but not training. Is it because they can't do it? After reaching the life and death realm, although the soul power would increase drastically, the rank of the sword spirit would be higher as well. So, the soul power would still not be able to train the sword spirit. After thinking about it, Yi Chen felt that this was the only explanation. It was because his soul power was 5 times more powerful than the other Sea of Souls realm warriors, which was why he could condense his soul power into the shape of a hammer and hit the sword spirit embryo. But the other Sea of Souls realm warriors would not be able to do it. Even the Battle King could not do it when he was at the Sea of Souls realm. Once he reached the life and death realm, although his soul power would be more powerful, but the rank of his sword spirit would be higher as well. So he would not be able to do it either. It seems like this is my talent and no one else can learn it. Regardless, Yi Chen was in a good mood. He had found a shortcut to speed up the development of his sword spirit. Time passed quickly. Day and night alternated. On the 7th day after Yi Chen had learned the essence of the sword spirit, the red-eyed beast carried everyone to the eastern region. Right then, there was only 1,000,000 miles left before they reached their destination, the Gulan region. Ting! The moment the night arrived, a sword ting sound echoed in Yi Chen's head. 7 days ago, the vague sword spirit embryo had finally been completely condensed. If the sword spirit embryo was an iron sword that was not that sharp, then the completed sword spirit would be a great sword. The edge of the sword was extremely sharp, and the light of willpower was like the cold light of the sword, making people's hearts skip a beat. The second sword spirit done. Yi Chen abruptly opened his eyes. The dark sky suddenly brightened up, as if a flash of lightning had flashed across the sky, or a beam of sword light had appeared. Chapter 539. Murong Jishui and Murong Wu, who were only a couple of meters away from Yi Chen, did not notice anything strange about Yi Chen. Compared to before, Yi Chen's control over his sword intent had already reached the top level. The second sword spirit was formed, he did not leak out any sword intent at all. Indeed, the third sword spirit has been formed. Letting out a breath, Yi Chen focused all of his attention on his Sea of Soul. Above his Sea of Soul, besides the slaughter sword spirit and the second sword spirit, there was another illusory, ancient-looking long sword right next to the second sword spirit. This long sword had a dim light, like an abandoned iron sword. However, on the surface of this long sword, there was a bright light of willpower as well. The third sword spirit is just like the second one, which is as powerful as a normal rank 2 sword spirit. As for the second sword spirit, it has already reached the peak of rank 3. Combined with the destruction or immortality element, it would be as powerful as a peak rank 4 sword spirit. In other words, without the slaughter sword spirit, destruction, or immortality element, Yi Chen's second sword spirit would only be below the master level sword spirit. Once it was combined with the destruction and immortality elements, its power would reach the peak of rank 4 sword spirit, which would not be weaker than any master level sword artist. The reason why the slaughter element was imprinted on the first sword spirit and formed the slaughter sword spirit was because it had slaughtered enough people. If I want to imprint the destruction element on the second sword spirit, I must comprehend the true essence of destruction. Once the destruction sword spirit is formed, its power will be even greater than the slaughter sword spirit. Shaking his head, Yi Chen was confused. He was wondering how many sword spirits he could form in the end. According to his estimation, there should be 3 sword spirits, which were the slaughter sword spirit, the destruction sword spirit, and the immortality sword spirit. After all, there are only 3 elements in his sea of soul. Of course, it was just an estimation. Who knew if there would be a 4th or 5th sword spirit? If there were, he would have to think about why. He could not even figure out what had happened to him. So what else could he figure out? The slaughter sword spirit and the second sword spirit are resonating. Right then, Yi Chen found out something amazing. Inside his sea of soul, the slaughter sword spirit and the second sword spirit had some kind of connection. It was very weak, and if he did not sense it carefully, he would not be able to sense it at all. Moreover, he found out that as the connection was formed, the slaughter sword spirit and the second sword spirit were condensing at a very small speed, as if they had formed a resonance field. A wave of strong flow blew past, causing the bird to shake a little. Murong Jishue and Murong Wu were both startled awake. Looking at the environment under the cloud ocean, Murong Jishue laughed. We have entered the Gulan region. In about 2 to 3 days, we will reach the biggest city near the Yuan family, the Ancient Wind City. Shall we go to the Ancient Wind City first? Yi Chen asked. Murong Jishue nodded. Right now, going to the Yuan family would be like entering a tiger's den. Although they would not kill us, they would still be able to imprison us. Once the wedding is over, it would be pointless for us to come out and cause trouble. So we cannot be reckless. You're right. Yi Chen thought about it and agreed with him. If he entered the Yuan family on his own, there would be a big chance that he would be imprisoned. Then the other party would be able to say that he was imprisoned because he had intruded into the Yuan family. Right then, Murong Wu said, "Third brother, the Yuan family would not be easy to mess with. I am afraid that our operation would not be that smooth. Even if they are not easy to mess with, we will have to. We have no way out now." Murong Jishue said viciously, then looked over at Yi Chen. Yi Chen looked very calm, but there was a sharpness in that calm look. Ancient Wind City, it was one of the most famous big cities in the Gulan region, which was hundreds of thousands of miles away from the Yuan family. Inside the city, there were a lot of martial institutions branches, which were basically used to protect the local businesses. After all, the martial institutions were too far away, and it would be impossible to have no security. Yuan Yi, I lost to you 2 years ago. Today, I will take it all back. On the street, 2 young men were confronting each other. The one who was talking was in his 30s. His long hair was tied up by a yellow band, and there was a dirt-colored battle blade on his back. The blade intent was shooting out of it. Easily blocking out the incoming blade intent, the handsome young man who was also in his 30s sneered, "Gao Yunfeng, you are a powerful warrior as well. Unfortunately, you should not have come to me. 2 years ago, you were not my opponent, and 2 years later, you will be even more so. I am not interested in competing with you." "What? Are you scared?" "Scared? I am just not interested in wounding you. Perhaps I might even accidentally kill you." Yuan Yi looked disdainful. Injuries and deaths are inevitable in battles. I, Gao Yunfeng, do not care about it anymore. All right, since you want to die that badly, I will fulfill your wish. Let's battle outside the city. A killing intent appeared in Yuan Ye's eyes as he flew toward the west gate. Gao Yunfeng followed right behind him. "Hurry! Follow him! Yuan Yi is about to battle with Gao Yunfeng, regardless of life or death." All of the warriors who were watching were excited as they followed. On the empty wasteland outside the city, the wind was blowing hard. 2 human figures kept crossing each other, bringing up a chi power that was enough to tear the ground apart. Burning fire blade. Gao Yunfeng faced the incoming wind and threw out a blade attack. This blade attack was extremely hot, and even the air had been heated red. It spread all the way toward Yuan Yi, who was not far away. You have overestimated yourself. Yuan Yi reached out his right hand and formed a fist in the air. All of a sudden, circles of light black pattern appeared on the edge of his fist. The pattern expanded rapidly, covering half of the sky. The wind stopped suddenly, and the place became deathly silent. Die! Yuan Yi threw out a fist attack toward Gao Yunfeng, who was standing in front of him. Pooh! The burning blade chi had been shattered, and Gao Yunfeng puked out a huge amount of blood. His face looked extremely pale, as if he had lost a lot of his life force. Falling heavily onto the ground, Gao Yunfeng puked out a mouthful of blood and said, I did not expect you to have trained your killing water fist art to more than 100% already. I have not lost for nothing. I thought this fist attack would be enough to kill you. You are pretty tough. Don't worry, that fist attack did not kill you, so I will not attack again. Yuan Yi walked over and stepped on Gao Yunfeng's head, pushing it into the mud. If you want to fight against me, then you'll have to be prepared to be killed or humiliated. You are very lucky. Seeing this, a lot of warriors shook their heads. The competition between the young generation of the eastern region was very intense. Therefore, the battles were very cruel and cold. Leaving the battling area, a gray shadow appeared right next to Yuan Yi. It was very easy for people to ignore it, since it was mixed with the color of the mud. Uncle Huang, what are you looking for me for? Yuan Yi said lightly. Your fiancée is here. The headmaster asked you to go back early and build up your relationship with her. A voice was heard from the gray shadow. A smile appeared on Yuan Yi's face as he said, I have heard from the spies that this fiancée of mine is so beautiful. I would like to go and see for myself. Your fiancée will be your wife in the future. But there is one thing that you have to pay attention to. This fiancé of yours has a good friend, and his name is Yi Qin. Right now, he is almost here in the Gulan region. Whether or not you can get married successfully will depend on your own power. Yi Qin, I know. Isn't he just a lucky guy who was chosen by the Dragon King? If he wants to come, then let him. But I will let him know what it feels like to have both his woman and his dignity taken away. I am afraid that he will not be able to get back on his feet. Haha. Yuan Yi did not care about Yi Qin at all. Indeed, the latter's talent might be higher than his, and he was a lot younger than him as well. But in front of power, it would not be a problem at all. Once one reached the Sea of Soul's realm, age would be an advantage. It was just like the age difference between life and death realm warriors. The gray shadow said calmly, he is the martial genius that the Dragon King has chosen after all. You better be careful. I know what to do with him. An evil smile appeared on Yuan Yi's face as he said, let's go back. I am a bit impatient now. Shoo! Shoo! The two flashed their bodies, flying toward the Yuan family. After about the time it took to brew a pot of tea, for black dots landed from the sky. They were 4 7-meters long red-eyed bird, with human figures standing on their backs. We have arrived at the ancient Wind City. Let's go down. When they were close to the ground, Morong Jishui jumped down and stood steadily on the ground. With a shoo, Yi Chen jumped down as well. This is the ancient Wind City. It looks like it has been around for a long time. Landing in Yi Chen's sight was a very ancient city. The mottled walls told the world that this city had been through years of wind and rain, but it still stood strong. Moving his eyes away from the city, Yi Chen said with a bit of surprise, so many astral-reaching realm warriors have gathered here. Did something happen just now? Morong Jishui said, I guess there was a battle earlier. Never mind it. Let's go in. Entering the city, the group chose a luxurious hotel to stay in. The night was like water, and the ancient Wind City seemed to be a lot quieter. Inside the guest room, Yi Qin quietly released his soul power. His powerful soul power covered the entire ancient Wind City within a second, allowing him to sense every corner of the city. There are quite a lot of Sea of Souls realm warriors here. Yi Chen's soul power was way more powerful than normal Sea of Souls realm warriors. Scanning out with his soul power, he would not be noticed at all. It was just like when he was at the astral reaching realm, where he used his soul power to scan out astral reaching realm warriors. There were more Sea of Souls realm warriors in the ancient Wind City than Yi Qin had expected. Most of them were training, and some of them were doing secret things. Of course, because the soul power was too scattered, Yi Chan would not be able to intercept their voices. He could only tell what they were saying from their mouths. Where is Morong Wang going? He was about to take back his soul power when Yi Qin sensed that Morong Wang had left the hotel and was flying toward the west, leaving the ancient Wind City soon. This guy. A cold light flashed through Yi Chen's eyes. To the west of the city was the Yuan family. With the speed of a spirit warrior, he would be able to reach there in half an hour. Morong Wang thought that no one would know that he had left, since he would be able to sense it as soon as he scanned out with his soul power. But he did not expect that Yi Chen's soul power would be even more powerful than the Sea of Souls realm warriors, which allowed him to see his every move. Chapter 540. Let's see what he is up to. Yi Chen thought about it and decided that he should still follow him. He did not like to be stuck in an unknown situation, so he had to take the initiative. Pap! The wooden window opened automatically, and Yi Chen flashed his body before jumping into the night. Tonight was a moonless night. If it weren't for the few stars providing a bit of pitiful radiance, the whole heaven and earth would be so dark that one wouldn't even be able to see their own fingers. However, this dark environment was like a fish in the water for Yi Chen. His profound art, shadow separation, was even more effective in the dark. With his shocking soul power, Yi Chen and Morong Wang maintained a distance of 200 miles, following closely behind. Morong Wang's speed was very fast. Under the cover of the night, he looked like a flash of light blue light. If a normal person saw it, they would think that it was an illusion. One is crazy and overconfident, while the other is young and arrogant. He dares to go against the Yuan family. If the Yuan family were this easy to deal with, then they would not have been able to hold the leading position of the demi-demon family for the past tens of thousands of years. Morong Wang had not been optimistic about Morong Jishui and Yi Chen since the beginning. Therefore, he had already made up his mind that he would not work with Morong Jishui, choosing to stand on the side of the Yuan family. He knew that if Morong Jishui and the Yuan family went against each other, he would lose the leader position sooner or later, and might even be imprisoned. Although he did not want the leader position of the Morong family, but if it were his turn, he would naturally not let it go. Being the leader of the Morong family would more or less bring him some benefits. My son might even have the chance to marry the third lady of the Yuan family. Most importantly, if this marriage is successful, I might be able to get a copy of the demon's martial art. Although the demon's martial art might not be as profound as the human race's martial art, but after demonizing and using the demon's martial art, my power would increase drastically. I might even be able to compete with Master Level C of Souls Realm Warriors. For this demon's martial art, I have to make sure that nothing goes wrong. Morong Wang's ambition was huge. He was only in his 60s right now, and in the next 250 years he would have a chance to enter the life and death realm. Once he entered the life and death realm, he would be able to go to the continent, the ocean, and even the stars. Therefore, before that, he had to become more powerful. Whoosh! With a slight, air-piercing sound, Morong Wang's speed increased by a bit. What he didn't know was that over 200 miles behind him, a blurry shadow had been following him the whole time. He was fast, but so was the shadow. From time to time, a faint cyan sword light would flash across, causing the shadow's speed to increase drastically. 1.5 hours passed. Morong Wang could see the buildings of the Yuan family from afar. Who is it? On top of the watchtower, an astral-reaching realm warrior, had discovered Morongwang. It was mainly because Morongwang had slowed down his speed to let the warrior see him. Morongwang passed on his message. I am the headmaster of the Morong family, Morongwang. I have something to discuss with your headmaster. Please let him know. Who are you? Who are our headmasters? What kind of things do we have to discuss at night? This astral-reaching realm warrior thought that Morongwang was here to see him, so he did not think much of him. This tag, you should recognize it, right? Morongwang did not try to explain. He took out a tag with the word gold carved on it and threw it over to the warrior. The headmaster's tag. The warrior recognized the tag. The headmaster's name was Yuan Jin, and his tag had the word gold carved on it. Obviously, this tag was given to Morongwang by the headmaster. You wait, I will go let him know. All right. Morongwang was not in a hurry. 100 miles away, Yi Chen stood on top of a huge tree, merging with the tree in the dark. Indeed, this guy is here for the Yuan family, and he even has the tag of the headmaster. Touching his chin with his palm, a cold light flashed through Yi Chen's eyes. He had decided that if Morongwang did something that he could not tolerate, even if he was the headmaster of the Morong family, he would kill him. As long as it was not a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior, he would have 90% confidence. Soon, that astral-reaching realm warrior came out and gave the tag back to Morongwang. Looking around, Morongwang walked into the Yuan family. On the top floor of a rather tall building, the middle-aged man in purple robes and Yuan Yi were both there. There was also a gray shadow in the corner. Father, what is that Morongwang doing here? Yuan Yi asked. The middle-aged man sneered. It is nothing more than his son and the martial arts of the demons. If this marriage works out, then his son's marriage will be arranged for him. But the martial arts of the demons will not even think about it. Only our Yuan family will have the martial arts of the demons. He is here. The middle-aged man in purple robes thought about the door on the top floor. With a creaking sound, Morongwang pushed the door open and walked in. Greetings, Headmaster Yuan. Morongwang held his fists together as he slightly lowered his head. It was indeed the headmaster of the Yuan family, Yuan Jin. The middle-aged man in purple robes said lightly, Morong Jishu A, and that brat have both come to the ancient Wind City. Yes. Morongwang was not surprised at all that Yuan Jin knew about Yi Chen. As the headmaster of the Yuan family, he must be very well informed. All right, I have a mission for you here. The two did not have anything to discuss, but Yuan Jin had asked Morongwang to come over. He needed him to do something for him to make sure that nothing would go wrong. Just tell me what you need. This is a bottle of 3 disaster powder. Give it to Morong Jishu A and Yi Chen, then control them to come to our Yuan family. Hearing him, Morongwang was shocked. What kind of effect does this powder have? It won't turn them into idiots, right? You know, the Dragon King is behind Yi Chen. Morongwang was worried that he would become a scapegoat. Of course, I know that. This powder will only last for 3 days. During that time, they will lose their consciousness and be like walking corpses. When they wake up, they will forget everything that happened during that time. After they take it, you can give them simple orders. Originally, Yuan Jin was not planning to do this, but after thinking about it for a while, he still felt that this method would be safer and more stable. Father, if he wants to come, then let him come. We are not afraid of him. Yuan Yi said. Yuan Jin explained. This marriage cannot go wrong. Do you really think that it is already set in stone? Plus, after he takes the powder, you can use him to do something good and make your fiancé give up on him. Wouldn't that be killing 2 birds with 1 stone? Use him. Yuan Ye's eyes brightened. Today he had seen Morong Qingsheng. Although she was wearing a light veil, he could still tell that she was a stunning beauty, even more beautiful than all the other women he had seen. Because they both had the perfect demi-demon bloodline, he was even more attracted to her. However, She looked very cold when she saw him, so he could not force himself on her before the wedding. So he had to hold it in. If he could take care of this troublesome Yi Qin, things would go a lot smoother. It would not be impossible for them to fall in love with each other. Hee, father, you are so smart. A creepy smile appeared on Yuan Ye's face. 100 miles away from the Yuan family, Yi Chen's expression turned cold. His soul power could reach up to 500 miles away, so he could clearly see the movements of their lips. Naturally, he knew what they were talking about. These people, they deserve to die. An intense killing intent appeared in Yi Chen's heart. He did not care what kind of top-level people they were. As long as he had the chance, he would kill them all. My third brother is a master-level C of Soul's Realm Warrior. Will this 3-disaster powder really work? Master-level C of Soul's Realm Warriors had a very powerful willpower, and normal drugs would not be able to work on them. So Morong Wang had to ask. Yuan Jin was a bit hurt. Don't worry. The 3-disaster powder is made from the essence blood of 3 rank 10 beasts, along with some other rare spirit medicines. Even master-level C of Soul's Realm Warriors would not be able to handle it. Yuan Jin had spent dozens of years to collect all the ingredients, and he had only made 2 bottles. Each bottle's value would be immeasurable. It was not hard to tell how important this wedding was to him. Then, I will not worry anymore. Morong Wang let out a breath. Actually, he was a bit scared of Morong Jishui. If he was found out, he might be killed, even if he was his big brother. All right, you go back first. Remember, you must succeed. Yuan Headmaster, this is not a small risk. The demon's martial art that I mentioned, is it? Morong Wang wanted to get his hands on a martial art of the demons first. Yuan Jin's face turned cold. Wait until you succeed, then we can talk about it. You do not know how important the demon's martial art is to our demi-demon family. Then, all right. Morong Wang also knew the importance of the demon's martial art. He bit on his teeth and turned to leave. Before he left, an evil look flashed through his face. Morong Jishui, Yi Qin, don't blame me for this. Every man for himself. Waiting until Morong Wang left, Yuan Jin and Yuan, you looked at each other and smiled, feeling that everything was under their control. In the night, Morong Wang followed the way he came, flying at an extremely fast speed. Yi Chen followed behind him quietly, his heart filled with killing intent. No one knew how long it had been, but the elder inside one of the 2 towers of the Yuan family woke up from his training. He subconsciously released his soul power, spreading it out in all directions. 1,000 miles, 5,000 miles, 8,000 miles. It reached 10,000 miles before stopping. The elder was one of the 2 demi-demon kings of the Yuan family. He had been in closed-door training all year round, and would occasionally go out to explore ruins. However, even if he was a demi-demon king, he would not be able to keep releasing his soul power for a long time. Therefore, he did not realize that Yi Chen was spying on the Yuan family. Right then, Yi Chen had already left for a long time. Who? The wind roared as Morong Wang pushed his speed to his limit. Headmaster, stay! A beam of sword light flashed through, and a human figure caught up. Morong Wang turned around to look, and his face turned blue. Yi Chen, how dare you follow me? Do you want to die? It is you who wants to die. Yi Chen's voice was very cold. What do you know? Morong Wang did not think that Yi Chen knew anything about the 3-disaster powder. None of this is important. Yi Chen's speed was as fast as master-level C of Soul's Realm Warriors. Soon, he was already a couple of miles away. Taking out his gold sword, Yi Chen threw out a wave of sword qi toward Morong Wang. You! Morong Wang sneered as he threw out a blade attack toward the sword qi. Chapter 541. Morong Wang's blade was a long and narrow blue blade, which looked very light and agile. As he waved his right hand, the blade light was like a tornado, flashing across horizontally and clashing with Yi Chen's sword qi. Boom! The bright light ball exploded, and a deep hole appeared on the ground. Shadow shift. Yi Chen's body was like a ghost in the dark as he avoided the explosion range of the light ball and approached Morong Wong without a sound. The second he got close to him, he took out his gold sword again and threw out dozens of sword attacks in a row. Each sword attack was as fast as lightning. Morong Wong had seen Yi Chen's fast sword before. However, it was Morong Wu who had been fighting with Yi Chen. Now that he was fighting with Yi Chen, he realized that his opponent's sword was way too fast. It was almost faster than his reflexes. Every single sword attack was extremely tricky, aiming at his blind spots. Ding! Dang! Relying on his intuition and rich battle experience, Morong Wong took a deep breath. He brandished his cyan long blade and created a light screen, which protected him tightly. It kept bouncing off the sharp sword lights, and the dazzling sparks were like fireworks, exploding outside his body. Reverse sky thunder cut. Holding the emerald long sword with his left hand, Yi Chen threw out a sword attack. The sword edge went through the gap of the blade light and left a sword mark on Morong Wong's left rib. Morong Wong made a noise as he bent his knees and jumped into the sky. Can you dodge it? Yi Chen and Morong Wong stood up almost at the same time, jumping into the sky. Along the way, he crossed his two swords together, attacking towards the sky. There was no time for Morong Wong to breathe, so he had to block it out with his blade. The crossing point of the two swords clashed with the long blade. All of a sudden, a thumb-sized thunderball was born. It expanded at an extreme speed, swallowing both Morong Wong and Yi Chen, and expanding at an even faster speed. In the next second, 100 meters wide thunderball exploded. The intense electric blast wave destroyed the area within a radius of dozens of miles, causing the mountains to collapse, the rivers to dry up, and the ground to crack open. Pooh! Puking out a mouthful of blood, Morong Wong was blown backward with smoke rising from his body. Impossible! How can he be so strong? Not only that, this sword intent is making it hard for me to concentrate. Morong Wong's eyes were filled with shock. He knew that Yi Chen was very powerful, and that he had the power to fight beyond his realm. Even his fifth brother, Morong Wu, was slightly weaker than him. But when Morong Wu was battling with him, he was not his opponent at all. Could it be that Yi Chen had been hiding his power during the battle with Morong Wu? Enough! Yi Chen, why are you attacking me? I am Qingqing's uncle. Going to the Yuan family does not seem to have anything to do with you, right? What? Do you want to turn against the Morong clan? Morong Wong didn't want to continue fighting with Yi Chen. He believed that even if he went all out, he might not be able to kill Yi Chen. Instead, he would be heavily injured, and the gains would not make up for the losses. It wouldn't be too late to give him the 3 Calamity Bewitching Powder when he had the chance. If you don't want people to know, then don't do it. Do you really think that I don't know about you and the headmaster of the Yuan family? Putting both swords back into their sheaths, Yi Chen coldly looked at Morong Wong, who had suffered serious internal injuries. You know about this? Impossible. How could you possibly know about it? Morong Wong's expression turned evil as a hint of killing intent appeared in the depth of his pupils. Above the Zhanyuan Ocean in his dantian, the lotus heart sword Qi vibrated slightly. Yi Chen looked at Morong Wong coldly. You should never have tried to trick me. Therefore, you have to die. Haha. Morong Wong laughed out loud as he pointed his finger at Yi Chen and said angrily, Who do you think you are? What right do you have to be with my niece, Qingqing? Let me tell you, I am trying to trick you, not letting you get what you want. What can you do to me? You are only a martial genius who was chosen by the Dragon King. Without the Dragon King, you are nothing. I can kill you if I want to, but since you know about this, I will not let you leave in one piece today. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for being too arrogant. He had decided that he would wound Yi Chen first before giving him the 3 Calamity Bewitching Powder. I hope you can still be so stubborn before you die. Strands of sword light appeared between Yi Chen's 10 fingers. A silver light appeared in Yi Chen's pupils as he saw through all of Murong Wang's weaknesses. With me, Murong Wang, here, you are destined to be the same as Murong Jishui, a loser, a pitiful man. Demon eyes. Murong Wang smiled viciously as his right arm and right chest started demonizing. Scales with black qi appeared one after another as his muscles expanded and expanded. Compared to Murong Wu, the range of Murong Wang's demonization was without a doubt larger, and the increase in his power was greater as well. The second Murong Wang started to demonize. Yi Chen flicked out all 10 of his fingers. Beams of lotus heart, sword qi shot out like countless light beams. Ah! Murong Wang yelled out. He did not expect that Yi Chen would have this kind of ace attack, and it was so coincidental that he only started to attack when he demonized. It was obvious that the demonization would take some time. Little bastard, I will let you know what regret is. Taking out a huge tower shield with his left hand, Murong Wang curled up his body without thinking, hiding behind the shield. Ding! 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 The shield brought up thousands of sparks. The continuous power attack had made the bones in his left arm groan and crack. What made him grit his teeth even more was that the sword qi did not all go in a straight line. Some of them went around the shield and brushed past his body. Soon, blood splashed out from his body, making him look like a man made of blood. Such a huge shield! Yi Chen frowned. The tower shield was one of the biggest types of shields. If he slightly squatted down, he would be able to use it to protect his whole body. Let's see how long you can last. Stabilizing his right hand, Yi Chen reached out his index finger slowly. It seemed like he had used all of his power as he stabbed out at the tower shield in the air. Buzz! Space rippled, and a huge cyan finger, ignoring the distance between them, pressed down on the tower shield fiercely. Crack! The tower shield was not damaged. Murong Wang, who was behind the shield, looked like he had suffered a heavy blow. He spat out a huge amount of blood towards the sky. The bones in his left arm were broken inch by inch, drooping down powerlessly. Damn it! The tower shield fell down, and Murong Wang's demonization was also completed. The current Murong Wang was not so much a human, but a half-demon and half-human. His right arm had swelled up to twice its original size, and the thickest part was like a wooden barrel. His right chest and left chest were completely different. Not only were they covered in black scales, they had also swelled up like a millstone. Even his head was tilted to one side. A pair of bloodshot eyes glared at Yi Chen, filled with anger and madness. Demonization cut. After demonization, a human demon would perform some killing moves according to the characteristics of the demonization. Of course, these killing moves were modified from the human race's martial arts, so they were not that powerful. However, when used with the demonized body, the killing power would undoubtedly be huge. Whoosh! The black blade light was like a black crescent moon, attacking towards Yi Chen. So fast! It was Yi Chen's first time facing a demonized human demon. He raised his eyebrow and raised his gold sword to block in front of him. He then poured his dragon power into his right arm. Chin! The black blade light contained an unbelievable amount of power. If Yi Chen did not have the dragon power, he would have been blown away. However, with the dragon power, Yi Chen did not move an inch. That black blade light exploded with a sharp chi flow that shot out from both sides of his body. Get down! Murong Wang shot up into the sky and glided above Yi Chen's head. He then slashed down with his blade fiercely. This blade attack did not shoot out a black blade light, but a black light ball. The black light ball was like a small black sun. Before it even landed, it had already sunk a few hundred meters into the ground. Only the ground under Yi Chen's feet remained standing, like a thick stone pillar that was a few hundred meters tall. Crack! The stone pillar cracked open inch by inch as Yi Qin shot out towards Morongwang. He held his gold sword with both of his hands and waved it out. That bright gold blue sword light was like the golden clouds in the sky. The small black sun and the golden clouds clashed with each other, stopping right there. Pap! 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 The first thing that could not handle it was the mud inside the deep pit. It cracked open piece by piece, and countless different-sized mud pieces floated up into the air, surrounding the two. Thunder exploded as the two suddenly separated. A circular shockwave exploded in the center, destroying all the mud pieces around them. Even this could not do anything to him. Morongwang's face was full of shock. After demonizing, his right arm's power had increased drastically. For others, it would increase by 30%, but for him, it had increased by 40%. After all, his right chest had demonized as well. However, after battling with Yi Qin, he realized that Yi Qin's power was just as powerful. It was like there was a huge volcano inside his body. What should I do? Should I go back to the Yuan family and let them take care of him? Morongwang's eyes flickered. A few hundred meters away, Yi Qin put his gold sword back into its scabbard. After taking a deep breath, he took out a dark blue longsword. It was indeed the Thunder Disaster Sword. Morongwang was not Morongwu. If the battle dragged on, although Yi Qin had 80 to 90% confidence that it could kill him, it would take too much time. If there were people from the Yuan family coming over, he might be able to escape. In order to avoid any accidents, he would have to take out his ace attack and finish it all at once. His ace attack was naturally the semi-extreme rank great sword, the Thunder Disaster Sword. Yi Qin, it is still not too late to stop now. Do not make a mistake. Morongwang's eyes looked dark as he threatened. Qin. Yi Qin did not reply as he took out the Thunder Disaster Sword with his right hand. You can die now. As Zhen Yuan poured in, the sword's body started to vibrate. The next second, the entire sword body started to change, looking like a beam of lightning. Shoo! Performing his sword light flying spell, Yi Qin's speed reached its limit all of a sudden. Within 1/10 of a second, he had arrived in front of Morongwang and threw out a sword attack. You will not be able to kill me. Stop it now. No! Morongwang's eyes were wide open as the blue long blade in his hand was blown away. His head shot up into the sky, leaving behind a headless body. Morongwang's eyes were wide open as the blue long blade in his hand was blown away. The head shot up into the sky, leaving behind only a headless body. That sword attack was not only fast enough to make people despair, but the power contained in it was also something that even his demonized right arm could not handle. It is a semi-extreme rank greatsword. The head made an unconscious moan before losing its vitality. Chapter 542. Putting his sword back into its scabbard, Yi Qin turned around and made a grabbing gesture with his palm. The tower shield, the long blade, and the storage ring on Morongwang's finger were all pulled over by an invisible power, and the tower shield and the long blade disappeared instantly. 3 disaster powder. I wonder what it is. What he cared about the most was still the 3 disaster powder. According to Yuan Jin, even Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors would not be able to handle it. Invading the ownerless storage ring with his soul power, Yi Qin soon found a small black bottle. With a wave of his soul power, the bottle was taken out. Pop! Opening the bottle cap, Yi Qin looked inside and saw that it was half filled with a gray powder. He leaned over and carefully sniffed it. Without knowing what it was, Yi Qin only felt that his nose was a bit numb, and his consciousness slowed down for a second. Then he did not feel anything at all. This 3 disaster powder sends its effect into the brain through the nerves, making people lose their consciousness. It seems like it would not work on me. Yi Qin's soul and willpower were way more powerful than Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors. Even if he took the 3 disaster powder, it would only cause a short side effect. It would not even make him lose his consciousness, not to mention lasting for 3 days. Although it would not work on him, it would be a huge threat to Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors. Putting away the 3 disaster powder, Yi Chen started to study Murong Wang's collection. This guy is quite rich. He has more than 300,000 top rank spirit stones. This is the Earth Spirit Pellet, and there are 3 Heaven Spirit Pellets as well. Yi Chen still had less than 30,000 top rank spirit stones left. It would be enough for training, but if he ran into a big auction, it would be hard for him to make ends meet. But now that he had more than 300,000 top rank spirit stones, Yi Chen had become one of the richest Sea of Soul's Realm Warriors. As for the Earth Spirit Pellets and Heaven Spirit Pellets, they were both top rank pellets. The Earth Spirit Pellets could save a month of training for Sea of Soul's Realm Warriors, while the Heaven Spirit Pellets could save 3 months of training. Murong Wang had 3 bottles of Earth Spirit Pellets, each with 10 pellets and 3 Heaven Spirit Pellets. Adding them all together, it would save 3 years of training time. Yes, this is a top-grade spirit stone. Yi Chen's expression froze. In the corner of the storage ring, Yi Chen saw a half-open small animal skin bag from which a milky white light leaked out. Although this light was not bright, it was extremely condensed, as if a huge amount of light had been compressed together, releasing a shocking yuan qi vibration. Buzz! The animal skin bag was taken out. Yi Chen opened it and couldn't take his eyes off it. There were a total of 7 milky white crystals in the bag. These crystals were purer than diamonds, and there was not a single flaw. The 7 milky white crystals and the palm-sized animal skin bag weighed about half a kilogram. It was very heavy in his hand, and it was very heavy. It really is a supreme-grade spirit stone. Yi Chen took a deep breath. Top-grade spirit stones were different from top-grade spirit stones. They had been condensed into crystals, so they could be called top-grade spirit stones or spirit crystals. The spirit crystals contained within them were dozens of times purer than top-grade spirit stones. If I really want to convert them into top-grade spirit stones, one of them would be worth at least 5,000 top-grade spirit stones. In the true spirit continent, 1 mid-grade spirit stone could be exchanged for 50 low-grade spirit stones, and 1 top-grade spirit stone could be exchanged for 100 mid-grade spirit stones. Meanwhile, 1 supreme-grade spirit stone could be exchanged for at least 5,000 top-grade spirit stones. Of course, no one would be stupid enough to exchange the supreme-grade spirit stones for top-grade spirit stones, since top-grade spirit stones were easy to come by, while supreme-grade spirit stones were hard to find. For example, building a conveyor door would require supreme-grade spirit stones. No amount of top-grade spirit stones would be enough. Although these 7 supreme-grade spirit stones can be used for training, an effect would be 10 times better than the Heaven Spirit Pellet. But right now, I am at peak level early Sea of Soul's Realm, and I only need to make a breakthrough. The Earth Spirit Pellet would be more than enough. Once I reach mid-Sea of Soul's Realm, I would try not to use the Spirit Stones as much as possible. Using supreme-grade Spirit Stones to train would be too wasteful. According to what Yi Chen knew, normal life and death realm warriors did not even have that many supreme-grade Spirit Stones. Most of the time, they might not even be willing to use them. The one who had the most supreme-grade spirit stones would be Su King. Su King had found a small half of an extreme spirit vein under the ocean. That extreme spirit vein did not consist entirely of supreme-grade spirit stones. In fact, most of them were top-grade spirit stones, and the extreme spirit stones were less than 1/10,000th of them. However, 1/10,000th was already horrifying enough. A lot of king warriors were guessing how many extreme spirit stones there would be. Of course, they only dared to think about it, and did not dare to fight for it. Who would dare to fight for something from Su King? Even the Dragon King and Xianhou would not dare to do so, since they were not kings after all. Putting away the storage ring and the extreme spirit stones, Yi Chen let out a breath as he looked at Murong Wang's dead body. Boom! He threw out a punch, and the headless body and the head exploded into pieces, leaving no bones behind. Shoo! Yi Qin flew toward the ancient Wind City. Adding the time he spent in between, it was only 6 hours. When he got back to the restaurant in the ancient Wind City, it was already midnight, and no one had been alerted. On the second day, during breakfast time, Morong Jishui said curiously, "How come I did not see Morong Wang? Strange." Yi Chen smiled lightly, but did not say anything. Morong Wu said, "Who cares what he is doing? He is not on our side." In the demi-demon family, besides the parents and children, family ties were not that strong. The main reason for this was because of the intermarriage within the family. Once the intermarriage happened, everyone would be a relative. Therefore, once there were a lot of relatives, there would be no relatives at all. Plus, this Morong Wang had never been on good terms with them. After breakfast, the three went back to Morong Jishui's room. Morong Jishui said, "It would not be suitable for us to go to the Yuan family at any other time. We can only go during the wedding. In front of everyone, I believe they would not dare to do anything. Plus, there is a branch of the Yellow Dragon Palace in the ancient Wind City. If the Yuan family were to hold a wedding, they would definitely invite the top management of the Yellow Dragon Palace." What kind of people are there in the Yellow Dragon Palace? Yi Qin knew about the Yellow Dragon Palace. There were 5 palaces under the Dragon God Heaven Palace, which were the Azure Dragon Palace, Black Dragon Palace, White Dragon Palace, Red Dragon Palace, and the Yellow Dragon Palace. The first 4 were all in the East Shallow Ocean, and only the Yellow Dragon Palace was in the East region. The leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace in the ancient Wind City is the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace, Yao Yifeng, who is a Master Level C of Souls, Realm Warrior. Morong Wu said, "Even the second leader was a Master Level C of Souls, Realm Warrior. Adding all the 5 palaces together, there would be more than 10 Master Level C of Souls, Realm Warriors. This Dragon God Heaven Palace was way more powerful than Yi Qin had imagined. He had thought that the number of Master Level Warriors in the AO family would not be any weaker than the Dragon God Heaven Palace, but it seemed like he had been too ignorant." Clearing his throat, Morong Jishui continued to say, "With the second leader Yao Yifeng here, the Yuan family would not dare to do anything. But the rest would be up to us. Specifically, it would be you, Yi Qin. You have to beat all of the young warriors of the Yuan family. Only then would you have the right to speak. Otherwise, it would only be a joke, and even the second leader Yao Yifeng would not be able to speak for you." Yi Qin nodded. "If it really comes to that, I will not hold anything back, as long as you have the confidence. Oh, right, since we have come to the ancient Wind City, we should pay a visit to the second leader, Yao Yifeng. If we could communicate with each other, perhaps it would be a lot smoother." Yi Qin thought about it and realized that it made sense. He had not had much contact with the people of the Dragon God Heaven Palace yet. He only knew the Dragon King himself and the 2 senior brothers he had met in the extreme Een place. With his power now, it would be time for him to meet some of the top warriors. After that, the 3 discussed some other things. Then Morong Wu stayed in the restaurant while Yi Qin and Morong Jishui went to the Yellow Dragon Palace in the ancient Wind City. As a power of the Dragon God Heaven Palace, the Yellow Dragon Palace had occupied a huge area in the ancient Wind City. Even the Yuan family and the Gulan Martial School were not as big as them. From the front door of the Yellow Dragon Palace, 2 middle-aged men walked out. "Brother Yen, have you heard? In a couple of days, a brat from the Yuan family will be getting married. I think they will invite us and the second leader to come." It was the middle-aged man with a yellow face who was talking. The bulky middle-aged man said with disdain, "The Yuan family is not a good thing. Relying on the support of the leader and Xianhou, they have become more and more arrogant. A couple of days ago, that master of the Yuan family had dared to compete with me in the auction." "Huh." The yellow-faced man laughed. "Are you still angry about that? Hee hee, the ancient Wind City is an important city in the eastern region. You, and I being sent here, I wonder how many brothers and sisters would be jealous of us. Be happy." There were a lot of yellow dragon palace branches in the eastern region, but not every one of them had a second leader. To be more specific, the rest of the branches could only be called the headquarters. It was not hard to tell how important the yellow dragon palace in the ancient Wind City was. Isn't this Yi Qin? The bulky middle-aged man was about to reply, but his eyes froze all of a sudden. He saw the young man in blue and the middle-aged man in black walking over from the side. It is indeed Yi Qin. The yellow-faced man laughed. What is he doing here? Let's go. Yi Qin had also noticed them, so he walked over with a smile on his face. Brother Wang, Brother Yen, you are here as well. These two were indeed the two brother disciples that Yi Qin had met on his way to the extreme Yin place. One was called Wang Shi, and the other was called Yen Kuei. These two had battled with the Six-Finger Man, forcing him to hand over the top rank shield of his dead brother disciple. The Six-Finger Man wanted to vent his anger on him, but he was chased away by the two. Wang Shi laughed. Yi Qin, what a coincidence! It has been a couple of years since we last met. You have reached the Sea of Soul's realm? Peak level early Sea of Soul's realm. TSK. Wang Shi and Yen Kuei were both shocked. Yi Qin was only 24 or 25 years old, but he had already reached the Sea of Soul's realm. This result was even better than Xian Ho when she was young. No wonder the leader thought so highly of him. No, if it were not for the leader, this genius might have been taken away by other life and death realm warriors. The two could not help but feel lucky. Yi Qin, what are you doing here in the ancient Wind City? Yen Kuei asked. It is a long story. Uncle Murong and I are here to visit the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace. You guys are also from the Yellow Dragon Palace, right? Hearing him, Wang Shi and Yen Kuei looked at Murong Jishui with surprise. They could not tell his cultivation at all. Without any surprises, he should be a master-level Sea of Soul's realm warrior. But, of course, the two were not people who had never seen the world before. They had even seen life and death realm warriors before. A master-level Sea of Soul's realm warrior would not be worth their attention. Wang Shi nodded. Indeed. I will take you to the second leader. Let's go. Thank you, brother disciples. What are you thanking for? We might be family in the future. Oh, right, the second leader is a bit strict. You guys should be prepared. Yen Kuei laughed. Yi Qin's status is different. How could the second leader be rude to him? You are right. The four of them talked and laughed as they entered the Yellow Dragon Palace. Chapter 543. Master Wang, Master Yen, are you here to see the second leader? At the entrance of the palace, two late clasping Yuan realm warriors were guarding there. Seeing Wang Shi and Yen Kuei walking over, they asked with a respectful tone. Wang Shi said, Indeed. These two are. One of the guards looked at Murong Jishui and Yi Qin. Yen Kuei said, This is the leader of the Murong family, and this is Yi Qin, who we always talk about. He is Yi Qin. So young. The two guards were very surprised. As members of the Dragon God Celestial Palace, it was impossible for them not to have heard of Yi Qin's name. However, only some of the top warriors had seen his picture, and they did not have the chance to see him in person. Now that they had seen him in person, they could not help but sigh at how young he was. With this kind of cultivation at such a young age, it would be strange if the leader did not think highly of him. With that thought in mind, they hurried to hold their fists together and say with respect, Warrior Yi. Yi Qin raised his right hand slightly and said with a smile, No need to be so polite. Is second leader Yao here? The leader of the Murong family, and I have something to discuss with him. Please come in first. I will go inform the second leader. All right then. Thank you. Walking into the palace, the four each found a seat and sat down, waiting for Yao Yifeng to arrive. Yi Qin, with second leader Yao's help, this operation will basically be smooth sailing. Murong Jishui talked to Yi Qin with a light tone. Yi Qin nodded to himself. Holding a wedding was a big family event, and he had messed around like this, which would be like stepping on the face of the Yuan family. Naturally, the Yuan family would not give him a fair treatment and would try their best to stop him. But with second leader Yao here, the Yuan family would not be able to do anything. Soon Yao Yifeng arrived. Once he entered the palace, he did not look at anyone and walked straight to the main seat before sitting down. A guard brought up the tea. Yao Yifeng picked up the teacup and took a sip, not saying anything for a long time. Strange. The second leader is not quite right today. Down below, Wang Shi and Yan Kuei exchanged a look. In the past, the second leader was very strict, but he would not act like that. Morong Jishui frowned. The situation doesn't look good. He could not be blamed for thinking like that, since Yi Qin had a high status. First, he was highly valued by the Dragon King, and second, he was also at peak level early seas of Soul's realm. No matter what, Yao Yifeng should not put on airs, even if he was the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace. Maybe it's just his personality. Yi Qin also had a bad feeling. Putting down the teacup, Yao Yifeng turned his head and said to Wang Shi and Yan Kuei, "You two can leave first." Wang Shi still wanted to say something. "Vice Hall Master," I said, "back off." Yao Yifeng sounded displeased. Yes, Wang Shi and Yan Kuei left gloomily. Before leaving, they glanced at Yi Qin and said to themselves, "Yi Qin, you're on your own. We can't help you." After a while, Yao Yifeng spoke. He glanced at Yi Qin. "You are Yi Qin?" Yi Qin held his fists together and said, "Second leader Yao, I am indeed Yi Qin, and this is the leader of the Morong family, Morong Jishui. I am asking you, not him." Yao Yifeng frowned. "What do you want from me?" Yi Qin's heart sank as he said, "The Yuan family is very aggressive, forcing the daughter of the Morong family, Morong Qingqing, to marry Yuan Yi. Morong Qingqing is a good friend of Yi Qin's, so Yi Qin would not just stand and watch. So, I am here to greet second leader Yao. You came here just for this?" Yao Yifeng's voice got louder. Before Yi Qin could speak, Yao Yifeng yelled, "Yi Qin, you have disappointed our leader and me so much. You are the martial genius that our leader thinks highly of, but instead of spending your time on training, you are fighting with someone else. How could you do this to our leader?" Right then, Morong Jishui was not happy. "Second leader Yao, you cannot say it like that. Although training is important, love is not the same. There are a lot of king warriors in the continent who had wives when they were young, and they still managed to achieve great things." Yao Yifeng sneered, "They are them. Can you guarantee that Yi Qin will become a king warrior? Plus, there are different levels of king warriors. What he is doing now is a disgrace to our leader and the resources that we have given him. He is not treating us seriously at all." Hearing him, Yi Qin's expression did not look good. Since his rise until now, besides the spirit pattern fruit that he had gotten from Long Bai, when had he ever gotten so many resources? Of course, it was not that he hated the dragon god Celestial Palace for not giving him resources, but he thought that Yao Yifeng was lying through his teeth. Pausing for a while, Yao Yifeng said to Yi Qin, "You said that the Yuan family forced Morong Qingqing to marry Yuan Yi. I do not think so. Perhaps you have your own ideas. Of course, this is only my guess. However, I would like to advise you to be down to earth and not go around looking for trouble. Everything you have was given by the leader and the dragon god Celestial Palace. You should work hard to improve yourself and repay them. As for the matter of Yuan family, you guys better not act recklessly." "That's right. Second leader Yao, have you been in contact with people from the Yuan family?" Morong Jishui's expression was dark. He was 80% sure that this Yao Yifeng must have received some benefits from the Yuan family. Otherwise, he would not be acting all high and mighty and trying to frame Yi Qin. Not to mention the fact that he was only a second leader. Even the leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace would not be this arrogant. Yao Yifeng squeezed his eyes and said with a sharp look, "You are the leader of the Morong family, Morong Jishui, right? Do you know who you are talking to?" As a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior, how could Morong Jishue let it go? Although Yao Yifeng's position was higher than his power might not be as powerful. So he said right back, I, Morong Jishue, do not think that I have offended the Dragon God, Celestial Palace, and the Yellow Dragon Palace with words. Are you saying that I cannot talk to you? Uncle, that is enough. Since second leader Yao does not appreciate it, then we have nothing else to say. Second leader Yao, I will leave now. Yi Qin stood up and was about to leave. Morong Jishue snorted coldly. Today's events were out of his expectation. He did not expect that even Yao Yifeng would be bought over by the Yuan family. You can leave now. Yi Qin, you stay. Yao Yifeng said casually. Yi Qin suddenly turned around, his eyes sharp. Second leader Yao, why do you want me to stay? Yao Yifeng said, you are now at peak level early Sea of Souls realm, which is more than enough to serve the Dragon God, Celestial Palace. I have a mission for you. You want me to do a mission? I don't seem to be a member of the Dragon God, Celestial Palace yet. Senior Dragon King has never mentioned this. Or rather, this is an order from you, Deputy Palace Master Yao. You dare to disobey? Yao Yifeng said coldly, don't forget that I am the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace, a high-level member of the Dragon God, Celestial Palace. I represent the Dragon God, Celestial Palace. You disobey me because you want to cut ties with the Dragon God, Celestial Palace? Can I understand it that way? Sorry, in my eyes, you cannot represent the Dragon God, Celestial Palace, and I do not need to listen to your orders. If it were the Dragon King or Senior Longbai, I would be more than happy to accept it. Right then, Yi Qin felt that there was no need for him to be polite anymore, since it would be an insult to him. Yao Yifeng was furious. How dare you? The ancient Wind City is under my jurisdiction. Since you are in this area, you will have to listen to my orders. If you dare to disobey, you will have to bear the consequences. Uncle, let's go. Yi Qin did not care about Yao Yifeng as he walked out of the palace. You are looking for death. Today, I will teach you a lesson on behalf of the leader. Boom! As Yao Yifeng pressed his palm in the air, a huge earthy yellow hand reached out to grab Yi Qin. It contained an extremely frightening earth profound. Morong Jishue had already considered himself to be on the same side as Yi Qin. So how could he watch Yi Qin get caught by Yao Yifeng? His body slanted, blocking in front of Yi Qin. He flicked his right finger, and a beam of green light shot out, piercing through that huge brown hand. The battle between the two was so loud that all the people in the Yellow Dragon Palace had sensed the vibrations, and a lot of them had rushed over. What is going on? Why is Yao Yifeng fighting with Warrior Yi? The ones who spoke were the two guards outside the palace. They did not understand what was going on. Everyone, listen up. Surround them. These two are being disrespectful to the Dragon God, Celestial Palace. Yao Yifeng's voice spread throughout the whole palace. Not good. Yao Yifeng wants to capture Yi Qin. Wang Shi and Yan Kuei had not gone far at all. Seeing this scene, they did not know what to do. Outside the palace, Yi Qin stared at Yao Yifeng angrily. Second leader Yao, you better not go too far. I, Yi Qin, have never been afraid of anyone since my rise. If you think you are right, we can go to the headquarters of the Yellow Dragon Palace or the Dragon God, Celestial Palace in the future. Do you have the guts? Yi Qin is right. Today, you won't be able to take us down with just this amount of people. Whether you're right or not, we'll know once we get to the headquarters. I'm just afraid that you'll refuse to go then. Morong Jishue was not afraid of Yao Yifeng, since he could leave with Yi Qin any time he wanted. Yao Yifeng's face was very dark. You too will regret what you have done today sooner or later. As for going to the headquarters, why should I be afraid? Finally, Yi Qin, let me give you a piece of advice. Do not mess with the Yuan family. Otherwise, you will have to bear the consequences. Yi Qin, let's go. Morong Jishue sneered as he said to Yi Qin. Yi Qin nodded and followed behind Morong Jishue. Thousands of meters away, Yi Chen's voice was heard. Second leader Yao, what happened today? Yi Chen will not let it go like nothing happened. You just have to remember that your life will not be easy. I will be waiting. Yao Yifeng's face was extremely pale as he shattered the stone lion in front of the palace with one palm attack. Not good. How did this second leader get into a conflict with Yi Chen? Should we send a message back to the headquarters? Yan Kuei sent a message to Wang Shi. Wang Shi nodded. Of course. Didn't you see that second leader Yao was a bit strange today? Yeah, he was a bit strange indeed. But he had crossed the line a bit. Yi Chen is a martial genius, after all. It seems like he does not have the right to teach him a lesson. I guess there must be some kind of benefit involved. Wang Shi and Yan Kuei were both on Yi Chen's side. In their opinion, the second leader had been acting all high and mighty right from the start, which was already a bit too much. Now that something like this had happened, there was no way it had nothing to do with him. After all, in their first impression, Yi Chen was quite a nice person. Chapter 544. In the sky above the ancient wind city, 2 human figures were flying. I did not expect that even the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace, Yao Yifeng, would be bought over by the Yuan family. This Yuan family has indeed invested a lot. Murong Jishui did not think that normal wealth would be able to move Yao Yifeng's heart. As a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior, there were not many things that could move him. But once there was something that could move him, then it meant that it was really important and he would risk his life to get it. Yi Chen said calmly, "Without Yao Yifeng, Yuan clan can't do anything to us. What they fear is Senior Dragon King and Dragon God, Celestial Palace, not Yao Yifeng." Murong Jishui nodded. "You're right. Without Yao Yifeng's support, we may face some obstacles, but as long as we're careful, there shouldn't be any problems. No matter what, we can only rely on ourselves." Yi Chen took a deep breath. Although he didn't expect to rely on others, Yao Yifeng's matter still made him feel a trace of anger. Back at the restaurant, Murong Wu saw that the two did not look right, so he hurried to ask, "What happened?" Murong Jishui shook his head and sighed. "Don't even mention it. This second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace has already been bought by the Yuan family. I suspect that they already knew that Yi Chen was coming. It is indeed not good news." Murong Wu looked serious. Suddenly, Murong Jishui thought of something and said to Yi Chen, "Yao Yifeng has fallen out with us. Your 2 senior brothers might be able to play a role. Senior brother Wang and senior brother Yan." Yi Chen thought for a while and said, "I don't know them very well, but I think we can talk. They used to be disciples of the Dragon King." Senior Dragon King's disciple. That's good. It's impossible for Senior Dragon King's disciple to be completely obedient to Yao Yifeng. You're also someone Senior Dragon King thinks highly of, so your chances are high. Then I'll find time to contact them. Yi Chen didn't plan to use his soul power to contact them immediately. After all, his soul power was a secret, and it wouldn't be good to expose it. Moreover, he didn't know whether Wang Shi and Yan Kuei were on his side or not. Near the abyss, Yuan family, on the top floor of a tall building, Yuan Jin and Yuan Yi were chatting. "Little Yi, have you made any progress with that girl?" Yuan Jin asked casually. Yuan Yi was a bit angry as he said, "There is no progress at all. She saw me go over, but she did not even leave the house. If it were not for the wedding, I would have used force already." The demi-demons had the bloodline of the demons, so it was easy for them to be aggressive. This Yuan Yi was very famous for his brutality. A smile appeared on Yuan Jin's face. "If it's yours, it'll be yours sooner or later. Don't be too impatient. Let her do as she pleases for now. After the wedding, she won't be able to do as she pleases. Father is right." Yuan Yi nodded and brought up another topic. "I heard from the scouts that Yi Chen and Murong Jishui had gone to the Yellow Dragon Palace. I am afraid that they are looking for the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace, Yao Yifeng. Would it affect us?" Yuan Jin sneered. What kind of influence can I have? I'm afraid they still don't know that Yao Yifeng has been bribed by me. Has Yao Yifeng been bribed by father? The price must be quite high, right? Yuan Yi was shocked, since he did not know about this at all. Yao Yifeng is the eyes and ears of the dragon god Heaven Palace, after all, so he is still very useful. This time he has been bribed, and we can continue to use him in the future. Therefore, it does not matter if the price is high. Our Yuan family can handle it, and we will definitely earn it back in the future. Even Yao Yifeng has been bribed by us. Let's see what else they can do. Yuan Yi let out a breath as he licked his lips. Outside of the city, inside a secret manor. Brother Yi, don't worry. We will take care of this. That Yuan family dares to go against you. They are looking for death. Yan Kuei had always been hot-tempered. Plus, he had just arrived at the ancient Wind City, and he had already gotten into a conflict with a master of the Yuan family, which made him even more annoyed. His face was full of killing intent. Wang Shi was also annoyed, so he said, "What is a Yuan family? If it were not for the leader's protection, they would have been destroyed a dozen times already. Right now, they dare to climb on top of our heads. This is too much. Brother Yi, we did not know about this before, but now that we know, we will not just stand there and watch. We have already sent the news about you and second leader Yao." Yi Chen said gratefully, "During the wedding, I will have to ask you two senior brothers to help me out. Your problem is our problem. There's no need to trouble us." Wang Shi and Yan Kuei had already considered Yi Chen as their family since they used to be the leader's disciples. Although Yi Chen had not received any instruction from the leader, just the fact that he was valued by the leader was enough for them to try their best to help him. They would not allow anyone to bully their own people. Yi Chen was a bit emotional. Before, he did not expect things to go so smoothly. "All right, Yi Chen, I will go back with Brother Wang first, in case Yao Yifeng suspects us." Yan Kuei was very straightforward and did not even call him second leader anymore. Of course, it was in front of Yi Chen and Wang Shi, so there was no need for him to hide his emotions. "All right." Yi Chen stood up to see them off. 3 days passed in a flash, and there were only 7 days left before the wedding. During this time, Yi Chen did not do anything else. He only focused on training and comprehending the profound. He needed to be fully prepared for the challenge. My gold resonant radiance art has finally reached 90%. This gold profound breakthrough is not that hard, but it is not that easy either. It all depends on whether you can find the breakthrough point or not. Yi Chen's training time was way slower than the other Sea of Souls realm warriors, but he had already found some patterns. For example, in the early stages, as long as he trained quietly, he would definitely be able to make a breakthrough. But after reaching 70%, he would have to focus more on the moment of inspiration, which would be worth a few months of training. Of course, it did not mean that he would just sit there and wait for something to happen. Instead, it meant that he would have to enter the training mode and search for that moment of inspiration. Once he found the pattern, Yi Chen thought that it would save him a lot of time. There is not much time left. I do not have time to train the Sky Thundercut and the Amarantha nature yet. I will try my best to train the Void Shattering Finger art. It would be impossible to train all of his profound within a short period of time. Right now, for Yi Chen, the Gold Resonant Radiance art, the Void Shattering Finger art, and the Sword Chi Tornado formed by the Lotus Heart Sword Chi would be his most powerful attacks. The rest would have to wait for a while. Right now, my attacks can already create space patterns, so it would not be that hard to train the Void Shattering Finger art. It is too bad that I cannot go deeper into the surreal space. If I could touch the space power up close, it would be very easy for me to train the Void Shattering Finger art to the next level. Soon, another 3 days had passed. During this time, there were more and more people in the ancient Wind City. Most of them were the top management of all of the powerful forces in the Gulan region. They had been invited by the Yuan family, such as the Gulan Martial School. Some of the powerful rank 6 martial schools rank 6 families, and some of the famous rank 7 martial schools, as one of the top 2 forces in the Gulan region. Even if the Yuan family did not want to invite people, it would mean that they did not care about anyone at all. Therefore, even though they knew that Yi Qin would go and mess around during the wedding, they still had to hold the wedding in a big way. I heard that Yuan Ye's fiancée is as pretty as a goddess. I wonder if it is true. The demi-demon family has always produced handsome men and beautiful women. I guess it is true. But this Yuan Yi is also one of the rare handsome men. The two would make a great couple. All of the restaurants in the ancient Wind City were filled with people, and a lot of people were talking about the upcoming wedding. On the street, Morong, Jishu and Morong Wu were walking side by side. There are quite a lot of people here. Morong Wu could see 2 to 3 Sea of Souls realm warriors with one glance. Morong Jishu said the more the better. These days, Yi Chen has been training his profound sense. I wonder how is his progress. Speaking of this, Morong Jishu was also very concerned. He shook his head and said, he will have to rely on himself. Yuan Yi is not that easy to take on. I think no one below Master Level Sea of Souls realm would be able to take on him. I even think that Yuan Yi is not weaker than normal Master Level Sea of Souls realm warriors. There is indeed such a possibility. The special power of the perfect demi-demon bloodline is not something to joke about. It would grow stronger as one's cultivation increases. With Yuan Ye's current cultivation, his special power would probably be equivalent to demonizing 3 parts of his body. Morong Wu was very worried. Perhaps it will be more than that. Morong Jishu thought to himself. Inside the quiet yard, space patterns appeared everywhere. Yi Chen was in the middle of the space pattern with both of his eyes closed. His soul power was constantly observing the pattern of the space pattern. I only need one more matching point. Once I find it, I will be able to train my void-shattering finger art to 50%. 50% was the dividing line for low-rank profound sense martial arts, which meant that he had reached the limit of the space mentality. Compared to 40% of the void-shattering finger art, it would be twice as powerful. The space pattern is different from the water pattern. When 2 circles of water pattern are stacked together, they will cancel each other out, creating a conflict. But the space pattern will merge with each other. Merge. Oh, right. The merging will make the power even more powerful. This is the limit of the space mentality. Deep inside Yi Chen's mind, something seemed to have been cleared up, opening up a whole new world for him. Opening his eyes suddenly, Yi Chen took a deep breath. It was a long breath, blowing up sand and rocks in the yard. The chi flow was chaotic. Break! Putting his tongue on the roof of his mouth, Yi Chen pointed out his finger at the fake mountain not far away. Pop! The fake mountain disappeared without a sound, and a bottomless black hole appeared where it had been. All the extra materials had been devoured. Once the void-shattering finger art reached 50%, it would not only be able to break through Zhenyuan easily, but it would also have a devouring effect. This devouring effect would turn the materials into space power, which would increase the power of the void-shattering finger art. Time was king and space was king. This statement was not empty at all. 50% of the void-shattering finger art's power would be way more powerful than the gold resonant radiance art, because as long as one was hit by the void-shattering finger art, 100% of the power would increase to 120% or even more. It would devour one's Jinyuan and increase one's attacking power. I should be 100% confident now, right? Yi Chen's brows relaxed a little. Before, he did not have much confidence, because demi-demons were different from humans. There were too many unknowns, especially Yuan Ye's special power, which was even more powerful than his demonization power. So he had to be careful. But now, everything was no longer a problem. Chapter 545. In the last 4 days, Yi Chen tried his best to familiarize himself with the void-shattering finger. The void-shattering finger art came from the Goat Horn Mountain, which was located in the 100,000 mountain range of the Gray Mystery Nation. Back then, other than the plain-colored jade slit that contained the third movement of the void-shattering finger art, there was also a huge white key. When the white key was activated with energy, it would form 6 huge characters in the air: Emperor's Tomb, Aries constellation. There was a high chance that the tomb of a martial monarch was the tomb of a titled monarch. Based on that, the white key should be the key to open the tomb. As for the void-shattering finger, it was probably not as simple as breaking through the invisible barrier and obtaining the white key. There should be more to it than that. The void-shattering finger art that Yi Chen had obtained was the third movement, and it was related to the tomb of a martial monarch. Therefore, its power and potential were self-evident. If he wanted to master it, it would not be something that could be done in a day. After all, comprehension and application were 2 different things. Even if you had the power of 100 pounds, you might not be able to use all of it. The power of space was just too mysterious. Seriously speaking, Yi Chen was currently unable to use the power of space. What he used was true essence to simulate the power of space. If he wanted to simulate the power of space more successfully, he would need to use the profound meanings of concepts. Of course, if he wanted to comprehend the profound of space, the difficulty would not be as easy as comprehending a low-rank, profound martial art to completion. In fact, it might be even more difficult. Yi Chen could only put more effort into using it, striving to bring out all of its power. This morning, the ancient Wind City was even more crowded than usual, because it was the wedding day of Yuan Yi from the Yuan family. Within the fog, countless human figures flew out of the ancient Wind City, heading toward the Yuan family in the west. Among them were Yi Chen, Morong Jishue, Morong Wu, and 10 powerful warriors from the Morong family. The day has finally come. Morong Jishue took a deep breath as a cold light flickered in his eyes. Morong Wu also said with a cold voice, "This Yuan family indeed does not respect our Morong family at all. They did not even send us an invitation. We, as the uncles and the father, seem to have become outsiders. Without an invitation, there's no reason to stand on our side. We'll just go." The closer he got to the Yuan family, the more Morong Jishue felt a sense of suffocation in his heart. He could not help but think of his first love. "I wonder if you've been happy all these years?" Morong Jishue thought. Whoosh, whoosh. Since they had to accommodate the 10 elites from the Morong clan, Yi Chen and the other 2 did not increase their speed to the limit. Occasionally, there would be people who would overtake them. Yi Chen frowned. He saw the Yellow Dragon Hall's deputy hall master, Yao Yifeng, and his 2 senior brothers, Wang Shi and Yan Kuei. Yao Yifeng glanced coldly at Yi Chen and transmitted his voice. "You really are a scourge. It's not too late to leave now." Yi Chen sneered. "You don't need to worry about it. We'll settle our debts later." "Settle accounts? I'm afraid you don't have the ability to do so." With a cold snort, Yao Yifeng sped up, turning into a streak of light and fleeing. At this time, Wang Shi's voice sounded. "Junior brother Yi, you can make a scene at the wedding. Junior brother Yan, and I will speak for you." "Thank you, senior brothers." With these 2 speaking up for him, the situation would undoubtedly improve. At the very least, they represented Dragon God, Celestial Palace. "Then we will go first. See you in the Yuan family." Wang Shi and Yan Kuei increased their speed, following behind Yao Yifeng. After an hour, everyone arrived at the Yuan family. Today, the Yuan family was decorated with lanterns and decorations, looking very festive. As far as the eye could see, there was red everywhere. Outside of the gate, there were rows of warriors in red uniforms waiting to welcome the guests. There was someone there to check the invitation cards. "Sorry, you do not have an invitation card. You cannot go in." Yi Chen and his group were blocked outside. Morong Wu said angrily, "I am Qingqing's uncle, and this is her father. If we cannot go in, who else can? Without an invitation card, no one can go in. This is the order of the head master. The gatekeeper sneered, not taking the three seriously at all. Murong Jishue said calmly, "This is your Yuan family's responsibility. You did not even inform the bride's family. There's no need for this wedding at all." Who is making a scene? The commotion had attracted the attention of the powerful warriors of the Yuan family. A good-looking young man walked over. He looked similar to Yuan Yi, but was a bit older. "Yuan Hao." Murong Wu recognized the young man immediately. It was indeed Yuan Ye's brother, Yuan Hao. Yuan Hao glanced at the three and said in a weird tone, "So it is uncle and uncle. You two can go in. As for him, he will stay." Yuan Hao pointed at Yi Qin. "This is my brother disciple Yi." "What? You want to kick him out?" A loud yell was heard as Yan Kuei walked over with big steps. Yuan Hao's expression changed. He tried to suppress his anger as he said, "This is our Yuan family. The rules are set by us. Your Yuan family is so powerful. What? Are you going to kick out people from our Dragon God Heaven Palace to show off your power? You." A cold light flashed in Yuan Hao's eyes. If it were in the wild, he would kill Yan Kuei for sure. "Brother Yi, let's go in. Let's see who dares to stop us." They had already guessed that the Yuan family would do this, which was why they sent Yan Kuei out. Yi Qin took a deep breath and followed Yan Kuei into the Yuan family. He had already prepared himself for all kinds of troubles, since he was in someone else's territory after all. The wedding would be held in the biggest plaza of the Yuan family. Both sides of the plaza and the front were filled with seats. There were already a lot of people sitting there, drinking tea while chatting. The atmosphere was quite lively. Yuan Jin and Yuan Yi, who was wearing the bridegroom's outfit, saw Yi Qin and the other two. Their faces darkened. All of their plans against Yi Qin had failed. First, Murong Wang disappeared mysteriously, and then Yao Yifeng did not let Yi Qin stay, asking him to go out on a mission. "Since you are here, don't even think about leaving in one piece." Yuan Ye's evil qi increased, his eyes looking creepy. It has not reached that stage yet. Yuan Jin vaguely looked at the waiter in the crowd and nodded slightly, seeming to signal something. That waiter also nodded and walked toward Yi Chen's direction. There were a lot of waiters coming and going, bringing tea, snacks, and fruits to every table. It was no exception for Yi Chen's side. Murong Wu was about to drink some water when Murong Jishue stopped him. "Do not eat anything when you are in someone else's territory." "Oh right, I forgot about that." Murong Wu seemed to have thought of something as he put down his cup. As for Yi Qin, he did not even look at the tea and snacks on the table. "You're not drinking?" Yuan Jin frowned. He ordered the waiter to add some 3-calamity powder to their tea. The amount of powder was very small, not enough to make them lose consciousness for 3 days, but it was enough to make them lose consciousness for half a day. After half a day had passed, everything was settled. "Emo Luo, it will be up to you now." Yuan Jin sent a message to the gray shadow in the corner. "Headmaster, do not worry. I am not their opponent in a head-on battle, but if it is a sneak attack, I have 100% confidence." The gray shadow's voice was very calm. "I trust you." A creepy smile appeared on Yuan Jin's face. All these years, Emo Luo had never disappointed him, and he had never failed before. The number of Master-level C of Soul's Realm warriors who had died in his hands had already reached 3. Judging on battling power, they were more than 10 times more powerful than Emo Luo. But under Emo Luo's sneak attacks, they had all died very quickly without any suspense. Emo Luo was the most powerful assassin among Sea of Soul's Realm warriors. A waiter walked past the gray shadow. As he left, the gray shadow disappeared as well. No one knew how it disappeared, not even the Master-level Sea of Soul's Realm warriors. Nearby had sensed it. No, they did not even notice the existence of the gray shadow. It was an extremely horrifying scene, one that would make one's hair stand on end. What do you think the Yuan family will do to us next? Murong Wu had brought his own wine, pouring one for Murong Jishue and Yi Qin as he said, "Whatever comes, we will just have to deal with it." Yi Chen held the wine glass and shook it slightly. The inside of the glass started to ripple, reflecting everything around them. All of a sudden, a gray shadow flashed past in the glass like an illusion. Yi Chen did not look at the glass, but a vague smile appeared on his face. Murong Jishue frowned slightly. His sight was filled with the waiters' figures. They seemed to have been isolated, and he had a bad feeling about this. Strange. Why do I feel like sleeping? Murong Wu's eyes looked blank as he slowly lowered his eyelids. Not good. Murong Jishue also felt sleepy. For a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior, it would be something unimaginable. Who? A circle of surreal water wave spread out, and the surrounding area fell into darkness. Let's sleep. The twisted gray shadow passed by in front of the three, making them feel more and more sleepy. They could not even open their eyes anymore. Murong Wu had even started to snore. Only Murong Jishue and Yi Qin were still struggling, trying their best to see the real face of the gray shadow. The gray shadow laughed as his body appeared. He waved his hand and threw out a pile of gray powder toward Yi Qin. It was colorless and odorless mixed with the qi flow. It covered Yi Chen's head immediately, trying to get into his nostrils. I wonder what other tricks the Yuan family will have after killing you. All of a sudden, Yi Qin sat up straight and opened his eyes. His pupils were clear, and there was no sign of him wanting to sleep at all. The gray shadow yelled with a low voice as he shot backward, his body twisting rapidly. Do you think you can get away? Shoo! The wine spilled out as Yi Qin flicked his finger. That light-like lotus heart sword chi went through the water curtain and landed on the gray shadow's chest that had not twisted yet. Blood splashed out. It was not red, but a dreamy blue color. The blue blood seemed to have washed away the darkness around them, returning the scene back to normal. The sounds of the guests chatting with each other started to become clearer. Boom! A human figure was blown backward, landing in the middle of the plaza. Everyone's attention was attracted by it. They looked over and could not help but gasp. The one lying on the ground in the middle of the plaza was a weird-looking monkey in gray robes. It was only 1 meter tall, and its limbs were covered in long hair. Its face looked like an elder's. Right then, there was a bloody hole in its chest, and blue blood kept pouring out of it. Chapter 546. What? Emo Luo failed. Yuan Jin's pupils shrank, filled with shock. Emo Luo was the name of a clan. There were very few members in this clan. At most, there would not be more than 5. This Emo Luo who followed him was a level 10. He had spent more than 10 years to train this Emo Luo, which was as long as he had been collecting the materials for the 3 disaster enchantment. Emo Luo's battling power was not that powerful and could even be considered very weak. Rank 10 Emo Luo's battling power would be similar to normal rank 9 beasts, and any Sea of Souls realm warriors would not need to be afraid of it. However, its soul power was extra powerful. Once it reached rank 9, it would master a special power related to the soul. Once it was used, even master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors would not be able to handle it. In the ancient era, Emo Luo's name represented nightmares. No matter how powerful you were, once it got close to you, your life would be under its control. Of course, Emo Luo was not without its weaknesses. Its special power could only be used twice within a short period of time, and after that it would take a long time to recover. There were 13 people in Yi Chen's group, and they were all living separately in the restaurant in the ancient Wind City. Emo Luo could not control them one by one, and he could not kill them all like he did to master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors in the past. Otherwise, he would not have to wait until today. Yuan Jin had not expected that something that he was so sure of would fail. He did not even know if the Emo Luo was still alive or not. You are looking for death, Mo Luo was way too important for Yuan Jin. He could not control his emotions anymore as he stood up abruptly, looking at Yi Chen with a murderous look. Yi Chen looked at Yuan Jin coldly. If I have guessed it right, this thing is called Mo Luo. It is extremely rare in the world, and your Yuan family is very lucky to have one. Also, who here has discovered its existence? It tried to drug me just now, but I killed it with one finger attack. Mo Luo. I have read about it in the ancient books. No wonder it could hide in the crowd without us knowing. It is the most horrifying assassin among the beasts. Yuan family has a Mo Luo. Then those master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors who were killed a few years ago might have something to do with it. Yuan Jin, what is going on? Let me ask you, was Mo Luo from your Yuan family the one who killed our Gulan Martial School's Master Han? The master of the Gulan Martial School, who had come to congratulate Yi Chen, suddenly started to attack, his face extremely pale. The Master Han he was talking about was a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior of the Gulan Martial School. For a rank 5 martial school, master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors were definitely the backbone of the martial school, the symbol of the rise and fall of the martial school. As for the life and death realm warriors, although they were more powerful than master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors, they would not show up easily. They were like the nuclear weapons from Yi Chen's world. Having a master-level Sea of Souls realm assassinated, the Gulan Martial School had suffered a huge loss. It would be strange if they were not angry about it. It was just that they still could not find the culprit. Right now, Mo Luo had appeared in the Yuan family. Without a doubt, the Yuan family was the biggest suspect. The master of the Gulan party was furious. People from the Yuan family looked at each other, not knowing what to do. Right then, Yuan Ye's brother, Yuan Hao, walked out and said with a loud voice, "Everyone, do not listen to his side of the story. He is trying to frame our Yuan family. Whether it is a trap or not, we all know it. As for Mo Luo appearing in the Yuan family, it is not a trap for you." Murong Jishui woke up from his drowsiness. Seeing this scene, he knew who was behind it immediately. He was secretly scared, but at the same time he said, sarcastically, "Murong Jishui." Yuan Jin stared at Yi Chen and Murong Jishui without blinking. If possible, he would like to gather all of the powerful warriors of the Yuan family to kill the two, just to relieve the anger of Mo Luo being killed. Yuan Jin, you still owe us an explanation. All of the people from the Gulan party who had come to congratulate the Yuan family all stood up, looking at the people from the Yuan family with an unfriendly expression. "Father, you cannot admit that Mo Luo was raised by our Yuan family. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable." Yuan Hao secretly sent a message to Yuan Jin. Yuan Jin naturally knew what to do. He tightened his fists, then relaxed them soon after. Everyone, our Yuan family, did not know about this Mo Luo. Its appearance here might be someone messing around, purposely putting on a show for you all. Yan Kuei could not help but sneer. Headmaster Yuan, it seemed like you were angry just now. Why did you have to be angry right now? People from the Gulan party did not believe Yuan Jin's words either, so they stared at him without blinking. Today is my son's wedding day. How can we let blood be spilled? Do you think I cannot be angry after seeing blood? What kind of logic is this? Yuan Jin was even more cunning than expected. His words were flawless, making it hard for people to catch him. Pausing for a second, he continued to say, "If Mo Luo was raised by our Yuan family, then it would not be discovered at all. Once it was discovered, it would mean that it has nothing to do with our Yuan family. After all, Mo Luo's special power is something that even master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors could not handle. Do you think he could? It seems to make sense." A lot of people chose to wait and see. Tapping on the table with his fingers, Yi Chen's expression did not change. "What kind of logic is this? If it was discovered, it would have nothing to do with your Yuan family. If it was not discovered, then no one would know about Mo Luo. In other words, no matter if it was discovered or not, your Yuan family would still be able to stay out of it. Is that what you are trying to say? How dare you? How dare you accuse me? Yuan Hao looked at Yi Chen with a creepy expression. The warning and threat in his eyes were obvious. Everything needs evidence. If you just listen to his words, then I will have nothing to say. But I will make it clear once again that this Mo Luo has nothing to do with our Yuan family. Yuan Jin took a deep look at Yi Chen as he said to the leading master of the Gulan party. The leading master of the Gulan party took a couple of deep breaths, his eyes looking extremely dark. Indeed, there was no solid evidence for this. Without any solid evidence, it would be unreasonable to start a conflict with the Yuan family. So he sat down and said with a cold voice, "All right, today I will give your Yuan family some face. But if my Gulan party finds out the truth in the future, you will not be able to get away with it." Hearing him, Yuan Jin let out a breath. Find out the truth? What a joke! If you can find out the truth, then you will have the capability. Turning his head, Yuan Jin ordered, "Come on, take Mo Luo's body away before it stains the wedding venue." No hurry. It was Yi Chen who spoke. "Since your Yuan family does not want to admit the existence of this Mo Luo, then this body should belong to me, because I am the one who killed it." Yi Chen did not have this thought at first, but the dream-eating wolf in his beast tag seemed to have sensed Mo Luo's qi, so it started to roar excitedly. Through the soul mark, Yi Chen knew that it really needed the body. It was understandable, since the dream-eating wolf could create dreams, so it was extremely powerful in terms of soul power. Since the Mo Luo could enchant souls, its soul power should be equally powerful. Devouring the flesh and beast pellet of the Mo Luo would help the dream-eating wolf recover from the wounds on its soul. Yuan Jin would not let Yi Chen take away the body of the Mo Luo, since it would be useful to him as well. So he said, coldly, "This happened in our Yuan family, so we have the right to deal with the body. There is no need for you to worry about it. Take it away." Yes, a powerful warrior of the Yuan family took away the body. What a shame! Yi Chen did not continue to say anything. He thought to himself that it was such a shame. Looking at the dream-eating wolf's desperate look, he knew how important the body was to it. Waiting until Mo Luo's body was moved away, Yuan Jin said with a low voice, "Today is my second son's wedding day. I hope things will go smoothly and without any problems. Whoever dares to mess around will be going against our Yuan family. If they go against me, Yuan Jin, they will have to bear the consequences." After he finished talking, he glanced over at Yi Chen and the rest, with a heavy sense of warning. As time went on, the wedding officially started. Soon, Murong Qingqing, who was wearing a bright red bridal dress with a red silk cloth covering her head, walked out. Then Yuan Yi, who was wearing a black groom outfit with a big red flower on his chest, walked out as well. Just when they were about to perform the ceremony, Yi Chen took a deep breath and said with a loud voice, "I object to this wedding." With the help of his Zhenyuan, his voice spread out everywhere, and everyone could hear it clearly. Everyone could not help but be shocked, not knowing what Yi Chen was trying to do. Yuan Jin tried to control his anger. "Go on." Yi Chen sneered. "Do you Yuan family only know this kind of dirty tricks? This wedding is a conspiracy." "How can you say that? If you cannot give me a reason, then don't blame me for being ruthless." A horrifying qi exploded out of Yuan Jin's body as he stared at Yi Chen with an evil look. Yi Chen was not afraid at all. The bride is already under your control. Right now, she is just a puppet. She is not willing to do this at all. What? Are you serious? Everyone was shocked. Hearing him, Yuan Jin, Yuan Yi, and Yuan Hao's expressions changed. Just as Yi Chen had said, right then, Murong Qingqing could not speak, nor could she move freely. All of her actions were being controlled, and it was not her own will. "Yi Chen, you have been messing around time and time again. Do you really think that our Yuan family is easy to bully?" Yuan Hao walked out. Whether it is messing around or not, you can let the bride say a few words. If she can speak freely, then it will prove the innocence of your Yuan family. The clothes that Morong Qingqing was wearing had the ability to reflect soul power. It would not be that effective during a battle, since the soul power would be reflected back, which would expose her. But right now, it had the effect of not being detected by soul power. But Yi Chen's soul power was way more powerful than Sea of Souls realm warriors, so he could naturally see through it and see Morong Qingqing's expressionless face. Yuan Hao said with a creepy voice, "Innocence is not up to you to decide. For the dignity of my Yuan family, I, Yuan Hao, will challenge you right here. If you do not dare, then the wedding will go on, just in case it gets delayed. What if I win? We will talk about it after you win. Take my spear." A long black spear appeared in Yuan Hao's hand. The tip of the spear shook once, looking like a black angry dragon as it stabbed toward Yi Chen's chest. "Howard, wound him badly." Right then, Yuan Jin sent a message to Yuan Hao. I know. In Yuan Hao's mind, he had been wanting to step on Yi Chen for a long time, humiliating him in front of everyone. It was the consequence of messing with the Yuan family.